You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Bryant's right up in him. And Anobi in the corner. Clarkson launches a three and nails it. Fox on Towns. Drives inside. Forces up the shot and knocks it down. Clutch over the top. Castle stripped by Towns. Picked up by Bridges. Ball deflected by Anunoby. He's going to try a three-pointer. Got it! Swinging a high fly ball. He torches this one to right field. Back, and that ball's gone. It's out of here. Marcelo Meyer with his third home run of the season. Just talking about he needs to hit the ball harder, and on cue, he destroys that one. Lifted deep right field. Tavares is looking, and it's gone! A grand slam for Josh Naylor.
This one's out to right center. Fowler catches up to it, and Alabama has done it. Their first trip to Omaha since 1999. Celebrate, Alabama.
Swings, pops it up. LaChance gets rid of the mask, and Oklahoma is headed to Omaha.
Good morning. Welcome in. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
Oh, we're all right. How are you?
Good, man. Good morning to our streamers.
What's up, streamers?
Are they YouTubers? Are they are they both?
Well, not everybody's on YouTube,
Okay.
so they're not strictly YouTubers.
Just streaming is safe.
I think so.
streamers safe.
Streamers,
Like
viewers,
the
degenerates,
Got a few of those.
whatever you want to call
Whatever
them.
you want to call them, man.
I think
What's
it's all
that?
right.
Good morning.
We got the early riser. We got the early group in today.
We do.
Our guy Bruin Steve is almost always the first one in there.
Yeah, he's got to be ready for what's been a fantastic NHL Stanley Cup Finals.
It has. We'll talk a little hockey today too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
got
We got
Eddie.
Eddie Garcia.
Yes, sir.
Eddie, it's a stacked lineup today.
Host of the Puck Podcast.
So Shane was busy scheduling guests.
Say again?
We have two.
We got three.
I think we only have two.
We got three. We got
Troy,
the
Eddie
Troy coach,
Garcia.
SKYLAR MEADE, and then we've got Chris Level from Red Raider
Oh, that's
Report
right.
at 8:30.
We slid him in yesterday.
We did, yeah, because I don't know if you know this.
How objective can he be?
Well, I'm kind of curious. That's part of the reason I would have either wanted to talk to him or a national guy, which we maybe can get to later in the week, because I am curious.
Permission to treat like a hostile witness.
I'm curious how it's going over down there.
Yeah.
Because, I get that you want your guy to play.
I don't know. Do you?
I would think, because their season is,
I don't know, man.
you would think not in great shape if Sorsby doesn't play, because they're counting on him to be the
I
quarterback.
don't know. They just got what's his buckets from the transfer quarterback, which somehow he was able to move, even though he just left school, I don't know, 2 months ago. So
Yeah, I don't know. There has to be a part of you, I would think there's a part of the fan base, though, that's like, hey, this isn't great. I don't like this.
I don't know. Have you not talked to, I don't know. I think are you not in our group chat? It's very hard, I think, to be impartial if you're a fan.
I get it. I do. I don't know, man.
Although I feel like, I don't know.
We get mad at guys for dumber stuff.
Last night I was pretty bothered.
By Rico?
Yeah. So I was cool. I try to put myself in that situation. I'm like, okay, how would I be? I would either just recuse myself.
Yeah, you would shut it down.
Or come to my senses.
You would shut it down.
I wouldn't double down. I think the doubling down was what had me aggravated. It was like, I felt like I was at home and I got the proverbial, give me an example.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. Because what happens is we start majoring in the minors as opposed to majoring in the majors. So I was like, it's emotional. Everybody's crying. I'm just going to let this ride. Mike Brown's press conference was a microcosm of how I felt about the whole night. Just incessant whining.
Yeah.
Shut up and play ball. Keep your coaches on the bench. Keep the crybaby facial expressions to a minimum and play ball.
Yeah.
Like, you're at home. You shot more free throws. You had almost gotten to the 20-some free throw attempt mark before San Antonio got into double digits. Like, relax, man.
You're getting your free throws. You're getting your calls.
Like, just chill the flip out.
Yeah.
Now, I am bothered by a couple things, though. Because I'm not a huge jump on the officials guys, but I do hate going to replay and calling something else.
Ooh, yeah.
And I felt like
there's a couple instances where
L3, he's gonna be like, oh, if you can get it right, get it right. And I didn't want to have to come across the table and choke you, so I was like, I'm not really gonna broach this. But then I was like, you know what? Everybody's choosing violence anyway. Like, we might as well just have a violent show. It's like, how was that even up for? Was that being reviewed and nobody told us? Because how'd you come up with that call?
Yeah,
right. If it's out of bounds, then it's out of bounds. Is it out of bounds and then it's a foul and then he got hit? It's like,
yeah, you're not. My understanding is you're not supposed to be able to do that.
I didn't think so,
unless they're specifically challenging for a foul. If they're
doesn't the NFL is very particular about that too.
You can only challenge certain things, and you can only look at the thing that's being challenged.
I'm like,
which I believe is technically the case in the NBA as well.
Are you sure?
I think so. Like,
then last night would have been pretty egregious.
Yes.
And I don't want to give the crybaby Knicks fans like any more ammo, but
I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain the rule is the same, where you have to challenge something specific, where it's like, hey, I'm challenging that he was fouled, or I'm challenging that the ball went out of bounds off of them, not us. I don't think it's like, hey, that looked weird. Can you look at that again? Like, I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, it's pretty ambiguous.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's not a thing you can do.
Kind of like Austin and his friends, the duo.
Just be like, hey, you can't do that.
What? Hi.
Hey, Austin, how you doing this morning?
He's on punishment. If he wasn't,
what did I do?
If he wasn't on helping me out next week, I would be.
What did he do?
I didn't do nothing.
I don't want to talk about it. He's trying to get ready for a wedding. He's got to do what he's got to do.
Was it the honey packets?
No, that was very weird. I think it was maybe a kind gesture.
We were just talking about honey yesterday.
No, the key is to find syrup, though.
Yeah,
I know
you can find syrup in that. It's the like you're talking about like ketchup packets, but it's syrup.
Yeah. I've seen the cups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cups exist.
I don't know. This is basically just DB here for syrup. I mean, I'm not. I don't really want either. I feel like I want syrup to be equally represented. A big socialist guy.
I get that from you a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Austin, it's okay. I'm not gonna get into it. You are very, just a good hard worker. I grit my teeth. It's fine.
You gonna be okay?
Yeah. I was gonna leave Austin alone, and then I said his name, and then all of a sudden I almost went in. But I'm not going to.
Kel-Jam, we're talking about like maple syrup, like pancakes.
What's he talking about?
He said if we're asking about maple or high fructose, but I've never seen that come in like regular packages.
Yeah, you guys were telling me, and I'm sure you're right. You guys were telling me that honey has always been the originator of what restaurants like to delve out with their biscuits.
That's my understanding. I've never seen it in biscuit. I've never seen syrup on biscuits.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was talking to Rico, though. Apparently, it's a thing.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Rico's got to earn his way back into a guy that I can listen to. He had a bad night. I'll say this, though.
What's that?
I said tricks in 6.
Mm-hmm.
If San Antonio wins game 4, they're winning the series.
I would agree with that. It's a pretty big one for the Knicks to get. Because they probably should have won 2.
It's must win, and they're a little melty.
For the Knicks?
Yeah, they're a little melty. When Stephon Castle looks like he's the only one with some sense, and he's a kid.
That's a terrible sign.
It's a strange sign.
Yeah, he's also not even the one on the Spurs that I would count on having the most sense most of the time.
Well, who would that be? Wemby already told you that Castle's the most mature.
That's fine. I don't love his decision making a lot of the time.
Yeah, but from a facial expression standpoint,
yeah. From a temperament, Yes.
Cat, lock it up.
I just mean
my man walked to
offensive.
the free throw line and nut cutting time like
Didn't give a what.
and
Can we also like I was super impressed by that.
Who's the guy for San Antonio? It's not Fox.
No, although he is the guy that has to make some of the plays sometimes because skill set wise,
he was running out of options till he hit that crazy pull up.
He was. He had a couple plays in the fourth quarter. He did the split earlier that I was really impressed by, and then he hit that pull up that kind of sealed it for him. I felt like that was sort of the last one, but he from a skill set standpoint, he's one of the only guys they can really count on to do that, and obviously he's not. I don't love that,
and they don't really like to play that way either, right?
No,
because even when you get the ball screen, the high ball screen, it always originates with Wemby. I'd like to see him play that out a little more if that's what you're going to do. Like, that's just a sucky way to always initiate your offense.
I don't love their offensive philosophy. I don't know if it's a coaching thing or a player skill set thing. I don't. Like, I expect Castle and Harper to look dramatically different in like a year and a half than they do today.
I don't know. Will Castle be able to shoot?
Well, I expect Harper to look different a year and a half from now than he does today.
Listen, I rock with Harper Jr.
I know. I think he's going to end up being the second best player on the team.
I just couldn't believe he kept shooting.
He has to, though, doesn't he?
Well, when you do it twice within 30 seconds,
that's maybe a little much. That's fair.
Without even looking at putting it on the deck, and you've made one. I think the only time that I said anything was, okay, Harp, and that may have been about it. Otherwise, it was, geez, is he going to make one?
Yeah.
Here he goes again.
I think you could attack some closeouts if you're Harper as opposed to just letting that thing fly.
So if we're talking like just maturity, like who is it for the Knicks? Brunson? It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Right? He's the cool, the icy, the big shot maker, kind of stone cold killer. It's got to be. I mean, he whines, but he still bowls.
For sure. There's just I'm trying to figure out if you're talking about players that actually are going to make a difference on the court.
I'm talking about why the Knicks have to win Game 4. That like, who's my tone setter? Like, we got this.
It's probably Brunson.
It's got to be Brunson,
I would think.
Right?
I do wonder.
Certainly not Cat.
No, not at all. I was wondering about maybe
OG?
like OG or Hart.
Do you listen to Hart sometimes?
Yeah, he's nuts.
Hart's one of those guys. I was trying to think of a comp of a guy that I played with that it's like, okay, that's just him, but it still drives you like I don't think I could go get coffee with Josh Hart.
That's fair.
I don't like.
You go get coffee with Rick Brunson?
No. No.
I know that dude has been driving you crazy.
Well, like, what are we doing?
I don't know. Maybe after like a certain age, your dad shouldn't be coaching you anymore. I don't know. It seems weird.
And I've been saying this, so I'm not like going to continue to harp on it because the free world is hip to it too, I think.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize, like, I don't know what I said yesterday. I was like, weird, Rick comes off the bench. And everybody piled on. So it appears that everybody's hip to Rick Brunson being an AAU coach.
Yeah, his antics. Yeah.
But that's how they play, though.
Sure. No, I get it. I just
like somebody's gonna have. I mean, for the quadrant of Knicks fans here, they better win Game 4. They better win Game 4 because the Spurs don't even play smart basketball.
No,
and somehow it's 2-1. Like the Knicks clearly look like the better team.
Yeah,
but I feel like Game 4 is must win.
I never, as I'm watching them through this series, and honestly, through a lot of the year, and certainly through the playoffs, there's times where I'm just like, I don't know how they're going to get to 100 points. You know, like
I mean, they have to hope some of those horse shots go in.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the one with Castle yesterday where it's just like, well, I guess that's just going in.
Man.
Didn't Maddie hit us with the LMFAO?
So the push booty jumper drives me.
Dude, it's so bad.
It drives me crazy.
You know what he looks like? He looks like somebody that got cast in a movie about basketball that never played basketball before. They're like, oh no, it's like,
and for a guy with such good body control,
yeah, it's wild. It's like you never figured that part out, man.
Yeah,
even to look function, like, you know,
I do like his demeanor though.
Sure, temperament's great. I think that's why they like him.
And
defensively, I know people think he gets a little handsy. So like defensively, he's got the right temperament and he's got the ability to back it up. You know, he had a huge block down the stretch that was, I think, on Cat that was really important. And like, so there's a lot to like about Castle.
No, Juan, I hate coffee. That was probably the main reason I wouldn't go get a coffee with Josh Hart, but I wouldn't go get a Blintz, a bagel.
You wouldn't go get a ice cold tequila
no.
with Josh Hart.
He could drop me off.
You want to be in the car with him that long?
Like he could get me on the corner because listen, man, I've spent enough time in New York to know that's not a very nice place to. Especially, I can't.
You guys were there for like 2 weeks, weren't you?
Man, it seemed like 2 years. It did. It's so many people and so crowded, and I walked everywhere unless I was on the subway. So it was a lot for me, and the city smells, so it's very just deal with it. But for all those businesses and stuff that had to shut down, that would be like, so remember when, do you remember 2001?
Yeah.
Nebraska College World Series. Remember when Bush threw out the opening pitch? That would be like Zestos having to shut down like 4 days or 4 hours in advance, or Paulie's or something like that, where
Rocco's now, like, yeah.
What do those businesses do?
I don't know.
Just wait?
Because those 4 hours,
they ain't going home.
No, you can't, right? But those 4 hours, like, especially, like, let's take a call.
How much money are you making?
Well, so that's my point. Like, those 4 hours for a normal, like, that's probably like a week,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, especially on
a game day.
Yeah, a game day during that, like, 4 hours at Rocco's on a game day is like a week the rest of the year. Yeah. I'm sure.
I remember our guys at Paulie's. They'd make their nut in a week.
Yeah, people
didn't realize that place was open
all year long.
There's 50 other weeks. They'd be like, just wait for the CWS.
That's how Zestos was. Dude, that's how you remember the back at Rosenblatt where people would have you pay to park like across the street in their yard?
Yeah.
I was talking to one of those dudes. He's like, I pay my rent for the whole year.
Yeah.
This week.
So we used one of those lots. This was before I started doing the CWS stuff. So this was probably early 2000s. So pre-05.
Okay.
And the guys for that week, I'm not kidding you, they'd make like $10K. I'm like, man.
And those ones right across the street would charge like $50 a pop. Like they could charge whatever they wanted.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Especially then.
100%. 10 grand, it will, like, for one of those houses, especially in 03, is paying your rent or mortgage the entire year, maybe a little extra.
Yeah.
Like you basically live for free because you let people park in your yard 1 week a year.
Dude, I'd have to live at my mom's for 4 months to save 10 grand.
I know. Like,
I mean, we're just doing the math.
Like it's wild.
Hey, Mom. Oh. Hey, you got any room?
Dude,
I'll be downstairs.
After my divorce, I did live with my mom for like 6 months and I didn't save 10 grand. What are those businesses?
And you're at the mercy, right? I mean, what are you supposed to do? You have to clear out.
Yeah.
But what happened to coordinating all where fans couldn't go? It looked pretty Mob Deep to me.
I think once everybody got in terms of security and the president and everything, I think they opened some things back up. Like once he was secured in the building.
Yeah.
So I think they sort of allowed it to be a little bit more free after that. But that was, I don't know. I don't coordinate those types of things. That's too much in logistics.
Again, just imagine being in Times Square on Christmas. Like your boy was caught when they did the nativity scene on the building.
Mm.
It was like, I rock with kipper snacks and sardines, man. I knew exactly how them dead fish found. I was like, I was worried about Zoe.
Yeah.
No, I was like, this little girl's going to get crushed. And, people that don't look like me, for whatever the reason, when they travel, they love putting giant kids in strollers.
Yeah.
I mean, knees dragging, knuckles dragging. These dudes are ready to get their driver's license, and they're in strollers.
It's like 15 years old. And it's
like he has scrapes on his shins. Get him out of the goddamn stroller.
Like, we got 5 o'clock shadow. He could probably walk.
I was like, yeah, I'm not. I don't know how my sister does it.
How have you ever considered in a situation like that? Like, have you thought about like the leash or anything like that?
No, but I do want to ask, and I think sometimes it's hard to tell because it's a very eclectic city, right? So I can't tell like who's visiting, although you can see tourists, right? You'll see like a cluster of like 12 people and they're all looking up. Like that's usually a dead sign. I won't do the voice. Whoops. Yeah. So anyway, what I was saying was, damn it. Well, you couldn't tell what I was saying, right? Not even on auto replay. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go ahead and stop.
So you got tourists.
Yeah.
What about the tourists?
I can't tell if it's where they're from, where their kids have strollers, or is this just a way to navigate the city? But
maybe it buys you a little space. Maybe the stroller is like your lead back, like your fullback,
I don't know.
You're getting a little lead block with the stroller.
Which, by the way, Shane, I thought of you at 2:20 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
When I had a weird, man.
What
I'm
happened?
just telling on myself. My good buddy, Chris Kravanek, right, is trying to do get the house ready, right? So looking at some pavers, doing the deck. I had a mini dream that this dude was sleeping on the edge of the couch because the back door won't lock. So it has a bar, right? And for whatever the reason, in the dream, it's like bits and pieces of what's happening in real life. And the dude was sleeping on the edge of the couch and he was staring at me like this.
I was?
No, dumb nuts. I'm going to get to you in a second.
Okay, good.
So I woke up and I was like, oh, golly, that's weird.
Like, hey, quit being weird, man.
He just was at my house with this little guy. So I was like, TK, yes, I was like truly traumatized. So I woke up and I was like, oh, fudge. I turn on the TV and lo and behold, what's on?
He-Man.
Monday Night Football. No, but I did see a huge collection of He-Man stuff at Imaginarium downtown.
Oh, yeah.
Because this little terror, Zoe, had me looking for Neatos. These little squishy dough things for 2 hours yesterday.
I don't even know what those are.
Dude, this little girl's going to be the end of me. Dude, I'm downtown walking in like retro stores.
Yeah. That doesn't seem like your vibe.
Sounds like a pretty good time to me.
We spent 50 minutes at Hollywood Candy. Didn't look at one piece of candy. We're looking for like trinkets.
You get any gummy bears?
I got to tell. So I'm telling 3 stories at once. This little girl asked the dude that works there where the needles are. He says, I'm letting her do it, right? Because I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, they're in the glass case. They're back. I think we're out. I don't know if we have any. So she stores all the information. And so we walk around and we're looking and she thinks she sees the glass. It's NEEDOHS. And as she'd say, do you need me to spell it for you? Yeah, bro. Like it's out of control. So
continue.
She couldn't find it. So she goes back again.
To the guy?
Yeah. So he walks with her. Young kid at Hollywood Candy. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. She's learning to be independent. And she has a $50 bill crammed in her shorts. I said, Zoe, give me that. She said, well, I'm going to need some small bills. I look at the dude. He looks at me. I throw my hands up. I said, hey, piss poor parenting. That's all this is. Just piss poor parenting. So they're doing their thing. And he's talking to her like she's grown. He says, hey, if we don't have any, They have them down. You might want to try Imaginarium. It's over by the school. He's telling an 8-year-old, freshly turned 8, not looking at me like he knows I'm like directionally impaired, obviously, or something, right? Maybe I was whistling. I don't know. So she said, let's try the Imaginarium. No. I said, oh, Imaginarium. So I put it in Waze.
Yeah.
It takes me to 16th. And it says Imaginarium, but I go up and the door's locked. And she put her little beady face on the glass. I said, I had some wipes though. We got that taken care of. So she looks inside and she's like, I don't think this is it. Where's the scooters? So I said, I don't know. She said, let's go back and ask him. I got time to kill. She's been with me since 10:30. I go back in Hollywood Candy.
Why not?
Back down to 13th. He said, oh no, it's right around the corner. The scooters is right there on 12th Street. Like we moved.
Yeah.
Spent another hour in that place. Bought $14 worth of stuff. She folds her bill. She puts them back in her pocket. Carrying on. Doesn't want to open them until we get home. Okay, fine. I go do your thing. Anyway, I get back to this story. 2:20 in the morning on NFL Network. 1987 Monday Night Football. Who's playing, Shane?
Raiders, Seahawks.
Raiders and Seahawks.
Boz versus Bo.
That's what they called it. It even on the coming back from the it was Boz versus Bo. Bosworth sucked. Oh, he must have been off the good because he even looked good.
Bo didn't stop until Tacoma there.
So the funny thing is like he had fumbled and dropped a couple of swing passes in like the first quarter, and I was like, yeah, man, this dude's kind of over. Nah, he ain't overrated. He just, man. Isn't Kenny Easley like an HOFer?
If he's not, he should be.
He was getting cooked.
Yeah.
Falling down, big pads. Bo looked like trash in his gear. The long sleeves, the bar on the helmet. He had no fade, no line. He looked like homeless. Why is Marcus Allen being used as a lead blocker for 80% of that game? If I was Marcus, I'd have been like, yeah, man, I'm out. It was 1987. He wasn't even in the doghouse yet. But he's lead blocking out of split backs for Bo Jackson.
Yeah, that's weird.
Wild.
That's wild.
Team player.
Listen, the Raiders were coming. Do you know how many games the Raiders had lost in a row that night before going into that game?
Oh, probably a lot.
7.
They were totally on the downhill.
They're on a 7-game losing streak.
They were on a skid there.
Thank God they had all-time great Bo Jackson to pull him out of that.
Mark Wilson blew chunks. Pretty deep ball. But that guy couldn't. And he started out like 10 of 13. I mean, he was cooking. I was like, God, the Seahawks suck.
Like the tallest quarterback ever.
Kenny Easley is a Hall of Famer. He only played 7 years, though. But he's a Hall of Famer.
Interesting.
Yeah. 81 to 87. That was the whole career.
Everybody makes fun of Boz getting trucked. Easily, he got a footprint in his chest, too.
He got some of that work.
I mean, right in the middle of the 4-5. I was like, huh. But so, back to the Knicks. Back to the Spurs.
Yeah.
Don't you think the Knicks are the better team?
At this point, yes, I do.
Are you with me, though, that if they lose game 4, they're losing the series?
Yes.
Is that a hot take?
No, I don't think so. I think despite the fact that...
By the way, if you guys know where they're selling Nidos or the little squishy things or whatever, like, hit your boy up.
Yeah, Juan was saying that they're basically sold out everywhere.
Ooh.
I think
Juan's active.
I think it was Juan.
Juan, can I put you on that? Juan's like, look, man, I got a real job. I ain't trying to help you out.
But
please, Juan.
No, I like, despite the Knicks being up 2-0 going into last night and looking like the better team, I like San Antonio easily could have been split coming out of the first two. And they easily could be up 2-1 right now. I do wonder how much.
Hang on, Scott. We need to take a roadie. Man, Scott. We're gonna drive to Louisville.
TK, no, NEEDOH.
Yep.
Not like neat-o, like Neato, like Neato burrito. No, Neato. Like Play-Doh, but NEE.
And we got like these like squishy butter things and these burgers, and it's just a bunch of dumb stuff. She puts them in the freezers, and and I hear all this commotion in her room. So I go in there, and she's like got Bella on her back with her hands around Bella. And I was like, Zoe, stop choking the dog. And she's like, Bella's getting into my things. And I was like, she's a choker. we're raising her right.
Like father, like daughter.
Up close and personal. No, I'm kidding. But so I was like, Bella, come on. That dog won't go anywhere near her room right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I think she's shaking.
Like, all right, crazy.
Anywho, I'm
you know the first sign of serial killer is hurting animals, right? Like you got to watch out for that one.
Yeah, we were play boxing at Hollywood Candy, and I said, Zoe, I said, stop. Like, I said, those hurt. And she said, it helps just get some of the anger out. I'm frustrated. I don't know where these are. And I was like, oh gosh, there is some of that DNA in there.
Yeah, you better be careful there.
Dude, it was just funny watching her be a little grown up, talk to these people.
T-Mac says he texted you about Nitos.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
My dude.
And then
we got a little hidden spot.
Fatball Jesus says Learning Express at 120th and Center.
Oh, that's one of my, so he's back.
Fatball Jesus?
Yeah.
Apparently. Or it might be Jesus. I don't know. He could be Hispanic.
Well, Jesus doesn't have to be Hispanic.
Almost exclusively, yeah. I don't think that's a hot take. Like, I've only heard that spelling of a name in two contexts. One is Christ.
Dude,
the other is Hispanic.
The delivery, though. Almost exclusively. Anyway, I'm on like zero sleep, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, you were watching Bo and Boz at 2:20 in the morning.
I was just enamored at how this got so much hype, and Seattle sucked, but so did
the Raiders.
Dude, you're talking about like
this is a microcosm.
Sean Jones, Greg Townsend, like
Greg Townsend was pretty
Who
good.
was the
Now, but he was a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
But you got to remember though, they were coming off of the 83 season, and they kept that team too long. They kept all those guys too long.
Yeah, they were old as dirt.
It's basically where the Steelers were at in 82, 83.
Although Howie Long looked like he was playing at about 220.
Yeah, he was little.
He looked lean.
Yeah. Was Dave Craig the quarterback?
Yeah.
For 87 for Seattle?
J.L. Williams and Kurt Warner in the backfield.
Okay.
I didn't realize. I forgot John L. Williams played with Neil Anderson at Florida. It's a nice little backfield.
Yeah. That game, though, is sort of like a microcosm of Bo's career, though.
Just spurts.
Spurts, and also not what we remember it as.
So here's the funny thing about that. And I don't think this is just maybe it is just me. Aesthetically, it was not pretty.
Bo?
It was just brute force.
Yeah, it was violent. It was
like,
violent.
No moves, no fluidity, just
that's how I feel about LeBron.
Big, fast machine.
That's how I feel about LeBron.
I hate watching LeBron.
Like I don't
and I agree.
I can acknowledge how good he is, how great he is, however you want to put it.
I'm watching Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's the better runner.
Yeah, like I like how that looks better.
Yeah. Even though I could never pull off the neck roll, and I tried in high school.
The neck roll.
I used to watch Clinton where
that's a tough look.
His looks sweet. His collar.
It either looks awesome
because he had a big Eric Dickerson poster on his closet wall.
Oh, so he's a big neck roll guy.
He liked E-Dick.
Yeah.
And his looks sweet. And I was like, I want to be like that guy. Let me see how I could do it. Mine looked crazy, man. It was hanging all off on my gear. The sleeves were too long. I was still wearing forearm pads. Like
the neck roll is a huge hit or miss. Like it either looks awesome or you look ridiculous.
Yeah, everybody was wearing them.
Yeah,
last night.
It was big in the 80s, I think early 90s too. Because what wasn't old boy in the Friday Night Lights Permian? Booby Miles. I think he had the neck roll.
Did Booby wear the neck roll?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Booby wore the neck roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you do speak. He's still worried about why I'm mad at him. It's not because that stash is getting worse by the day either.
I think it's actually coming in nicely now.
No. Hey, can you do me a solid? Because you're starting to kind of look like your boy over at those other people you sleep with. Give me a little here and then see if that thing will connect.
It won't. Yeah, no. It only goes here on the chin. Yeah.
What about the soul patch? Are you
You big
keeping
soul
that,
patch guy?
or like
So we talked about this last week. Unfortunately, it turns into like the Egyptian pharaoh where it just goes straight down. So I got to be very cautious of that.
man?
I'm trying to be as politically correct as I can, so I'm trying not to be canceled.
So just
Do you remind me of the dude? Again, late night television. I can't remember. He was a police officer and he ended up getting on steroids and he abused his wife. It was like the somebody Jokic story.
oh,
His name was Dennis. But the dude in that movie, Jimmy Neutron, had the same facial hair you did. But this movie was like made in the 80s, I think.
mustaches were big in the 80s. They were.
What was the name of the lady that was the star, I think, played on Charlie's Angels? Is it the Dennis Jokic story? I don't know, whatever he was a juice ball cop and he ended up being an abusive turd burglar, but the lady was in
How do you
Charlie's
spell
Angels.
Jokic?
I-
J
so-
or Y?
It's with a Y. Maybe it's the Diana Jokic story.
Was it the one with the black hair?
Well, yeah, he had black hair. She had black hair too.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what her name was. I can't remember what it was. Just Google like.
The Donna Jokic story.
Yep.
Cries unheard.
Yep, that's what it was. Go to images in the movie. Just go to images right here. You're terrible with Google. So the dude that played the guy in the movie is giving me Jimmy Neutron vibes.
Okay, let me see if we can find. I'll send it to Austin to put up on the screen. Just be careful with how you trim that mustache there, Austin. You just gotta be careful.
I can't, you're kind of far away from me, but it doesn't, maybe it just looks worse. Oh, my man Lupe. Hey, Lupe, Five Below. That's right. But we go there every day at like 10:20 waiting for the shipment. I'm dead dog serious.
Is it this guy?
Oh, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
The movie, you gotta just go to the movie. It's fine. But I'm just telling you, it looks like Austin. Lupe wanted to crack the bottle open the other day, and I didn't go back over there. It was a weekday.
I'm gonna be honest. This seems like a really bad movie with pretty bad actors in it.
Most cop movies in the 80s were pretty bad.
Unless they're like buddy cop movies.
Who was this Charlie's Angels lady that played in the movie?
I got Hillary Swank. Is that it? No, Jacqueline Smith.
Jacqueline Smith.
Oh gosh, she didn't age. She has the Michael Jackson. What's wrong with the surgeons?
I mean, she's 80, man.
That's a Michael Jackson nose.
She's 80.
Okay, sorry. It just doesn't make it look any better.
Just say you can't be like she didn't age well when she's 80.
All right, DB, the movie you're looking for is Cries Unheard, the Donna Jokic story.
Uh-huh.
It's a TV movie from 1994.
So it's 94?
Yeah.
God, it was grainy.
It seems earlier than that based on the styles that I'm seeing here.
Yeah,
The,
so
the TV movie doesn't help.
the guy that played Dennis in the TV movie looks just like you guys had the same look.
Oh, Brad Johnson, former quarterback.
Different Brad Johnson.
Ah,
Florida State great Brad Johnson.
He's so special.
Minnesota Vikings great Brad Johnson.
So special.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers great Brad Johnson.
Shut up.
Panther legend Kelvin Benjamin.
How
How many of Brad Johnson's teams can you name?
Okay, we have Redskins, Buccaneers, Minnesota. That might. I mean, he played for Florida State, but that doesn't count.
Sorry, I meant Josh Johnson, the other Johnson that played for every team in the NFL.
Those are too many Johnsons.
Gosh, that's probably
way too many Johnsons.
It might be double digits.
Oh, it's definitely double digit. I think it's like 14 now. I think it's literally half the league. You want me to look it up?
Yeah, I think.
Josh Johnson football.
There's a ton of Jets, Browns.
Why would you look up football? Why wouldn't you just look up Josh Johnson NFL teams?
I did Josh Johnson football teams. I'm only going to do teams in which he has recorded.
Although Jimmy Neutron,
stats.
he is notoriously a terrible Googler.
Google me.
He does it the hard way.
Yeah, but when I get to the answer, I have the answer. So
Okay, it just may take about 7 years.
yeah, but I'll get it.
I also have the answer.
Tampa, San Francisco, Cleveland, Cincinnati, New York, Jets, Colts, Bills, Ravens, 3 different times. Bengals are also 3 different times. 49ers are 4 different times. New York Giants, Houston Texans, Oakland Raiders, Washington Commanders, once as the Redskins and now as the Commanders, Detroit Lions, and the Denver Broncos. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm sure
6,
Jimmy
7, 8,
Neutron,
9,
you just
10,
Googled
11,
how many
12,
teams did Josh
13,
Johnson play
14.
for, and it gave you a number, right?
Did I say
Yes.
14?
Yeah, I was just.
He wanted to know what teams they were. Rico asked what teams.
He said, "How many can you name?" So sure, but I just wanted to know the number, which was about 5 minutes ago.
I told you it was 14, and I was right. And now you know which ones.
Google me. Would you feel like just being like this right here this is vintage L3. Arms folded, smug look. I landed the plane. You want to give me the middle finger? It's fine. Go ahead.
I mean, we were talking about Brad Johnson. I don't even know why we were talking about Josh Johnson.
I mean, just the demeanor.
Although big San Diego guy with he was the reason John Harbaugh got kind of his start. John Harbaugh was his coach at the University of San Diego.
Yeah,
That's how he got the Stanford job, is because Josh Johnson was balling.
Yeah,
Do you guys have like a favorite all-time backup quarterback?
I do.
I loved when Chase Daniel would get in a game.
So
Like it was the best.
this dude had a meltdown yesterday on TikTok.
Mhm.
Well, actually, it's probably his pod because he had some incorrect information about Sorsby, and the comments were blowing him up. And Chase Daniel goes there. He is notoriously a guy that will clap back on social media. I was just there for the comments. I mean, he mixed up the judge, right? He forgot that the Texas Tech judge recused himself. This guy was from Houston. I knew what he was saying. He intimated that the NCAA was powerless, even though he didn't go back and say, look, they're trying to do the right thing. Like, he was getting cooked in the comments. And I was like, Chase isn't going anywhere. He's going to argue with you guys.
No, yeah.
No, yeah?
He's not going to go anywhere. He will.
Yeah, Chase. So for me, he ended up being a starter, unfortunately. But I was a big Bubby Brister guy.
That's a good one.
That's a really good pick. That's a very good pick.
I was a big Bubby Brister guy. But again, when those guys have to at some point be your starters, it's
that's not, you don't want that. That's not ideal.
No.
I'm trying to think.
By the way, Shane, don't go back and watch any old football games. The gear, it's
tough.
Really bad.
It's tough.
Like the sleeves were down to there.
Yeah, they're like borderline past the elbow and super baggy. The shoulder pads made everybody look like they were like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It's just aesthetically is not.
And I'll be honest, I'm not a big neck roll guy. I don't love the look.
Gotta look at Dickerson though. He looks, or Wilbur Marshall. Wilbur Marshall could wear a neck roll.
I'm like aware of what Eric Dickerson looks like, but
check out Wilbur Marshall for the Bears. He looked like, and he actually had the good face mask. Wilbur Marshall looked like he just assumed.
Linebackers are different. I'll allow a linebacker.
Hey, doesn't he look certifiable?
He looks mean-spirited, is how I would put it.
I thought you were going to say something about him being dark skinned, and I was going to light you up.
No, he looks mean-spirited. He's got, look at that face. He's looking at somebody like, you, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like somebody I would like to have a disagreement with.
Did you watch him play in the 80s?
No, I did not. I wasn't born yet.
Was he number 58?
Yes.
Okay.
What, Austin, who's your favorite backup quarterback?
That was a big sneeze. Bless you.
Thank you. Ravi wasn't doing anything, and I'm sitting right next to him.
How dare he? Well, I mean, my favorite backup quarterback has to be Brooke Behringer, but he was also a starter. So
I thought we were doing NFL here. I didn't know we were.
No, I was just stealing that from you because I knew it was going to upset you.
Didn't know we were doing that. We talked about NFL quarterbacks this whole time.
Actually, no lie though. To be completely transparent,
You know why he's so mad because he loves that dude.
I know that's why I did that.
And you said his name before he did. Are you mad?
I thought we were doing NFL quarterbacks here.
This dude.
I'm thinking like Nick Mullins. I'm out here thinking like Southern Miss great Nick Mullins.
Gatekeeping Brooke.
I am, yeah. My guy.
He's really upset with me right now. He doesn't want to talk about it.
I thought
No, Ravi, we've done this before though. My favorite Nebraska backup quarterback. Do you remember when we got into a 3-day long text message exchange where you're just trading back and forth backup quarterbacks through the years?
Yeah.
That was very fun.
Big Frankie London guy.
I am a Cody Green honk. I stand for Cody Green.
Cody Green was at the golf tournament.
Was
Or
he?
was gonna be at the golf tournament.
Yeah.
On the 23rd.
Oh, at Team Jack?
Yeah.
I loved Cody Green. Like
I might be the only person.
I don't know I'm sure he played with those guys as a random connection, but for him to be back,
yeah,
like he's on the flyer.
I'm excited about it. I'm glad. I think
I would go up and I would ask for his autograph. I think I might be the only person to do it. Yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat.
I asked for a
Cody
selfie.
Green coming out of high school was it was
Super
a legendary recruiting deal.
Yeah, super legit. He was at Texas, right?
Yeah. Big, strong guy.
Huge. I was always mad. So this was honestly, this is one of the reasons that I was kind of over Bo.
Sweet Chuck, I'm a huge Nate Swift guy. Nate Swift was one of the nicest young guys ever. We had a huge, it had to be 14 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing Miami. It was a reunion. Would 14? Yeah. What would 14 have been?
14 was 20 years after 94.
So anyway, that was the whole ice luge with Vers.
Yeah.
And Nate Swift was there, and he had like a setup.
Yeah, like a tailgate setup.
Yeah, it was spectacular. And I was like, man, I used to cheer for you. I felt like an old guy.
I've heard nothing but good things about Nate Swift.
Because it took me forever to like young guys.
Mm.
You know, like just to be able to appreciate him.
Yeah.
But then once I grew up, kind of, he was in there early.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to come around on a lot of good young players.
Really?
Yeah. I think the first that I liked was maybe Crouch.
Mm. Well, it makes sense. Miller North guy.
No. No, that famously that wasn't it.
Should have been.
Halou was early.
Yeah. I was a big Roy Halou guy.
Ron Kellogg.
I love
Corey Ross was early.
Big pork chop guy.
Yes.
I loved Brandon Jackson.
So Corey Ross' footwork was sensational.
Yeah.
I used to call him good feet, and then it was baby feet. Because I think he wore like size 4s.
He's out here calling grown men baby feet
Well, I have a good friend.
to his face.
That's kind of his nickname. He used to do a lot of cooking for me. We kind of lived in the same. No, he's a grown up.
Yeah.
But it's not as
You're
fun
just
anymore
like,
because he
what
had
up?
like lap band surgery. So now he's teeny.
Yeah. So his feet are like proportional.
Yeah, he has he sometimes is in the stream.
Oh, is he?
And he has the same Bayamoon. Bayemon.
Oh, yeah. I've seen him in there.
That guy is baby feet. Now he legit wears like sized. I think he still gets his shoes in the
kids section.
The cheap kids section.
Yeah.
Corey Ross' footwork was sensational.
No, Corey Ross was a great running back. I was a big Brandon Jackson guy. I appreciated Brandon Jackson a lot.
Yeah. Remember when everybody thought B-Jack shouldn't leave school?
Was he second round pick, wasn't he?
Second or third.
Like the
B-Jax gets lost.
He only started the 1 year.
He gets lost in those kind of dark years. B-Jax was nice.
He was a Jackson, Mississippi kid, I think.
Yeah.
I liked Brandon Jackson a lot.
Speaking of which, how about Buck's kid committing to K-State?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
No, that's fine.
Nah, it's not.
Listen, we get off of Glass Housey. We ain't throwing any stones. We're just going to chill until we see what happens. I got no comments on where former players' kids are going to school.
I don't got kids. I can say what I want.
Like, it's 2026. Buck left in 99.
Yeah.
Or 2000.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's older than Purify.
Yeah.
That's the one that messes people up is Purify.
Yeah.
Because you're like, he's not that old.
That one messes me up.
I know.
You know
I was in college at the same time as Purify.
Do you know the cool thing about him? That dude has been like he literally just graduated and has been at work every day.
Yeah.
This time a week. Like Mo, go home.
Nah,
man, I'm in the deal now.
Gotta get that work in.
But that's the same as he was in high school.
Yeah.
Dude never missed days. Never. I think he probably missed one practice in his career, maybe.
Yeah. The entire time at Westside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just constantly practicing. But anyway, Ross, so the young guys, it took me a little bit.
Yeah.
Swift is up there. And then it was fine.
Were you a Western Camp guy?
Yes. I connected with him over Team Jack.
Oh, yeah.
And his parents were really good to me. And so whatever year I emceed that event, like I was all in on Wisty.
He's in the.
Who was the guy that I really liked, Shane? And we had him on the round table, and I wanted to give him a hug because he hated Iowa. Wide receiver, super tough.
Yeah.
White guy or black guy?
He's white.
Brandon Riley?
Yep. This is my dude. Big B Riles guy. He didn't like anybody. Competitive, mean-spirited. I'm like, I could rock with Brandon. I could rock with B Riles.
You know who's the exact opposite? I mean, he's not about the competitive, but not mean-spirited at all.
Who?
Our guy, Brandon Kinney.
Oh, yeah.
Super good-natured.
You should have heard him coaching the other day. So enthusiastic and loud, and he coaches his ass off.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, but I was like, I need to get
super good-natured though.
I need to. Oh man, got the 2-hand back pat love hug.
Yeah,
we embraced. It was
I like
kind of
that
weird.
dude a lot. I've met him I've only interacted with him 4 times. I like him a lot.
Yeah, super dude.
Good dude.
Super dude. So I'm into the young guys now, except for Jimmy Neutron.
He's not. I mean, listen, he's not college age anymore.
No, I know. And plus, once you get married, all bets are off. I'm gonna treat you like you get a little grace because you're a pup. But once you say I do, all bets are off. I'm just gonna be a jerk.
Oh dang!
I
thought our relationship was strictly cordial from here, so that's on me.
What'd I say, KJ? What'd I say?
I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever they're saying, I did not catch, so it must not have been that obvious.
Yeah, I didn't.
I didn't know KJ was a cusser either.
Oh, Keljam?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Have you not seen him in the Discord?
Well, he says the F. Yeah, you're right. I
didn't know he was a cusser. He just says the F word all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot. My first introduction to him, I think, was him jumping me over vacuum sealing.
Yeah, I was vacuum sealing the corn dogs.
Yeah.
Where he's like, why would you need to do that?
I was like, why is this guy yelling at me? I had no idea. But I mean, because Kobe was the original bomb dropper.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
everybody kind of made it fashionable.
Well, I think Rico's giving him the freedom now that he drops an F-bomb once a week.
Rico was slow to come around. Now, he's since stepped on the gas. But, I'm going way back to the sports bar days. Rico wasn't like that.
No, I think he got more comfortable after he spent some time off of radio. He's like, oh, I can do whatever I want.
Remember the first F word he dropped? I was like, I got 2 of those a week in me. And you were like, I think it's more than that.
Yeah.
We all remember the first time we cussed on the show.
He dropped one the other day.
I don't remember the first time I cussed on the show.
I guess most of us remember the first time we cussed on the show.
Ravi?
I can't remember.
Everyone remembers their first time.
I remember the first time you dropped a real swear word on me.
I was mad about something.
You were mad about the transfer portal window.
Oh, yeah. And I said, I don't give an SHIT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, where did that come from?
Dude,
you got so mad about that. I was so confused. I was like, what's happening right now?
You were trying to pin me down to a window.
Well,
and I was like, anything but the one that it is now. I don't give a bleep if it's this, or this. It can't be this.
Yeah.
And Sasha was like, whoa, that was the text. And I was like, nah, I'm good.
I thought you had a stronger opinion than that. And so I was confused why you weren't just saying it.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of trying to push you to give an answer. And then you were just like, I don't give a bleep. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm weird. You should just ask my therapist.
Kobe.
I don't even know why I said that.
You told me 10 minutes later, you're like, I don't know why that made me so mad.
Yeah. I mean,
you ate it immediately. You're like, I don't know why that made me so mad.
Yeah. I don't know. I've gotten much better with not just doing that.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's embarrassing. Like sometimes I just lose my mind and it's only for a second and then I'm fine.
Yeah.
Speaking of losing our minds, DB, we good?
Yeah. We're good. Suave, you're always going to be good with me. I just felt like last night was just too, I had to get out. It was just, it was too emotional for me to even joke. And I'm
no, you're good. I was not in a good place during that game. Yeah. I was getting upset.
It was like,
yeah, we could tell.
Oh, I know.
I don't know if you're like, thought you were.
You know how, listen, this is funny because nobody's in this group text except for us. When Austin doesn't pile on,
yeah, he
knows his boy is mad.
Yeah.
Like it was probably all you could do to have any self-control.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I threw one in because he was like, oh, Wemby's like a B or whatever. And I was like, no, he's French. And then Rico went off and I was like, oh, whoa.
And you didn't say nary a thing after that. I was like, yeah, even AJ knows this is dicey.
You said one more because I called Brunson, or I said people in people call Brunson or SGA the Canadian Brunson. And you go, I've heard this too. And then you didn't say a word after that.
And not to pile on, because it is, again, game 4 is critical, but let's not sit here and act like watching Brunson is it's not more fun than watching SGA.
This was the thing that Jess...
They're the same person.
This is the thing that Jess got...
I don't know about all that.
Almost mad at me about. Jess Cootie.
Yeah.
She sent us that video, right? About like all the stats or whatever. I was like, Jess, this isn't an SGA specific thing. I was like, I hate everybody that does this. She's like, oh, okay, we're cool. I was like, I hate Harden. I hate that Luka does it. I hate that Brunson does it. I hate that SGA does. Anybody that plays like that, I'm out. And she's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. We're cool.
It's just not, it's not fun to watch.
No, I hate it. It's terrible basketball. It's terrible basketball. And you know me, that's almost the only thing I care about.
It's like,
is how it looks.
That's just Brunson for the first 3 quarters. In the 4th quarter, he doesn't flop. He just goes off.
Which is, so, you know what? Quiet as kept. Like, I think that's what bugs me the most.
Is that, he doesn't have to play like that?
Because I know he's capable of just
playing ball.
Just playing ball. Like, he always has this magical line of demarcation and nut cutting time where he's like, all right, enough of the BS.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. I've seen it 15 times.
You know what would make 4th quarters easier? If you played like that all the time.
Right? It's like, or the grimacing or getting off the ground like, oh, nah, man, it wasn't that hard.
No,
like,
just get up, go play.
Go play ball.
Yeah.
And then at least Wemby had an excuse. A skyscraper falling down.
Yeah.
You probably got
he
the
still
old
gets up relatively fast, though.
Yeah, for a guy
maybe if your teammates didn't push somebody into you, you wouldn't have that problem.
Oh, God, here we go.
I thought it was clean. Also, the foul that got called on the other end,
Rico, Mike Brown.
Let me reenact the foul that Brunson. So you're standing there.
Yeah.
I believe it was Castle or Vassell, and I'm dribbling. You're standing there. You haven't moved this entire time. Yeah. This is Brunson. And one. What? Like the defender's not allowed to stand there anymore?
It's called initiating contact.
Yeah. The defender has a right to a space, Rico.
No.
Let's take a break. We're going to talk to Troy baseball coach Skylar Meade here in just a minute. The Troy Trojans are headed to Omaha for their first trip to the College World Series. Omaha, the College World Series. Every pitch. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
Anything is possible. You see a program that was nearly disbanded to being one of the best programs in the nation. There's a lot of good schools. There's a lot of support. There's a lot of great players. We didn't do it because all of a sudden, miraculously, we have the most talented 40 players. We have really good players and a lot of talent, but there's something more to that, right? So there's culture and there's work and there's belief, and what this team has done has gone and outworked people for the last decade. And so you're starting to see some of the fruits of that labor show up. But that's essentially how I would see it.
We're excited for our team. Two people I'd like to mention before we start is Scott Wilson, great Texas fan that means a lot to everybody in this program over decades and was a very dear friend to me, and I certainly wish he was here to see it. But we have a picture of him in our locker room that we look at every day, and he's really one of the first two people I thought of after we won that game. And of course, the last one, just for me personally, is Coach Garrido. 17 years ago, that was my first super regional on this field, and I remember how that felt to lose, and then of course won the next one. But I miss him and feel his presence all the time. But certainly excited to win the game, and very proud of these two guys, very proud of our entire team. Looking forward to getting Omaha.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Smashed up the middle base hit. Paiseki scores. Here comes Pine. He will score. Two national tournaments, close a couple other times. Ground ball, could do it. To second for one. To first, double play. Look out, Omaha. Here comes Troy.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by the head coach of Troy baseball, Coach Meade. How are we doing this morning,
fellas? That I'm trying not to watch it anymore, but that audio in the back of old Madvick and old Cormier got me going again. So I don't need any more caffeine this morning. We're ready to roll.
Oh, it's so much fun. There's just history. And now that it's baseball, the Detroit, Nebraska correlation, the upset 10 years ago in football, the basketball thing, it is so cool to watch. I used to be a huge Neil Brown fan, and I coached a guy from Omaha North when I was coaching it. It ended up going to Troy. But I say all that to say it's Omaha. I've said this forever. It's arguably the most difficult of the collegiate sports to win a national title. The setup with the regionals and then the supers and then the depth, man. Like, just start with your team's resolve, right? 38 and 30, like all the data's out there. You're not supposed to be here, except nobody told you guys. Like, you got to walk me through when you felt like this was going to be a thing.
Well, I'll give it to you a little bit. I knew when we talked about it in August. August 11 was our first meeting. I've referred to it many times. Like, I knew our team was insanely talented. Everyone knew that. Our players knew it. There was things in the fall that you go, okay, this is real. I reference back to like, and fall games don't matter, but you asked a question, so I'm giving you a real answer. Like, we played a fall game against Kennesaw State. We drove over at like 5 a.m. Like, these fall games they don't mean anything, but they can show you things. And Kennesaw State's got an awesome program. And we went over there in a doubleheader, won 32-5. We hit 10 homers. We like punched out like 35 and walked like 5. You're like, I had a scout, longtime scout I trust, Kevin Burrell, been in it forever. He's like, dude, you guys might be the best mid-major team I've ever seen in 33 years. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, thanks. But guess what? Things go on. Like, you get to the winter break, things don't go as well. Maybe some guys come back not as confident or as prepared. And then you got in our schedule. And, I know it's been talked about often, but we played ended up playing the number 1 non-con schedule in the country, the 6th toughest overall. Like, that's never even been done at the non-P4 level. And so there's some struggle that happens, right? We traveled a lot. We played literally in the SEC on the road all the time. Like, we did a lot of things, but I think it hardened us. And I'm not going to profess to say maybe on a random April 23rd day, I'm like, yeah, we're going to go to Omaha. Like, I'm not sitting here, but that's also not how our brains operate. We're very process oriented and being great on that given day. Now, I will tell you, as that regional was going, you could feel it, right? You could feel our guys have gotten to a different zone. Our guys are killers, man. Our guys act like football players. They're absolute maniacs. They love to compete. They are out of their mind, but they found what their sweet spot is competitively. And of course, what we've done the last 6 games, we've been our very best. And we set everything up this year with the mindset of let's be our best in May. And if we're our best in May, then we earn the right for June. And to be honest with you, nobody's earned the right for June more than us.
Coach, you kind of weave some things together there that I wanted to talk about. You talked about the tough non-con and how it hardened you guys. You talked about the regional and the competitiveness. When you're in it in that moment and you lose game 1 of the regional and you realize early that you've got a long path to get to where you want to go, how did those earlier season matchups help you in that moment, and B, just sort of the temperament of your team? Because a lot of times you lose that first one, you're like, oh God, we got an uphill battle.
I'll tell you, I was doing a thing earlier. I'll tell you exactly what I told our players, and I'll tell people till I'm blue in the face because it's the 100% truth. We got on that bus. Now listen, we did not get back to the hotel till 2:42 a.m. after that Miami loss, which was a tough loss. It was a heck of a game. What a great program, but we lose, okay? And we got to play Ryder, who's got a heck of a team. So we're sitting on the bus. We do our scouting reports on the bus, just kind of a way to like hone in and be locked in. And so I told the guys, I said, hey, look, man, I know everybody's tired. It's like 9:40 in the morning. Everybody's spent. I get it. But there are 308 Division I teams. There are 244 teams in the country that would absolutely die to be in the position you are. Oh, we're a little tired. Oh, we hate that we lost a tough game. Like, no, you're going to fight your butt off today. And you're going to do it for Troy. You're going to do it for yourself. You're going to do it because it's what you're supposed to do. It is the choice that you have, but it's the only choice. And if you do that, you'll earn the right for Sunday. And if you earn the right for Sunday, you have no idea what our team can do because there's nothing we can't accomplish. And I tell you what, those guys went out there and did it, and they played with great energy that Saturday. And we did what we did, beat Miami and then Florida that evening on Sunday. And obviously our finest hour at that point in time was the 10-2 victory over obviously one of the greatest programs in all of the land in Florida in front of about 7,000 people.
Yeah, it's fascinating. This people always talk to me. My background is football. Baseball is actually my first love. I think it was the sport I always tell my family that I was better at. My kids don't believe me. I go back to your program early, right? You have guys like Shane Lewis. You had Brooks Bryan. You've had some fellas been ranked in the top 25. At what point in a sport like this, like baseball, where it is very process oriented, that you knew you had something you could build on because of the early success of the program?
Well, I kind of have what would someone deem delusional beliefs. So I've kind of believed this from the beginning. I do appreciate that there's some video evidence of that going around of what we said we would do 5 years ago. And I don't say that, I kid you not. I know you guys don't know me well, but I don't say that egotistically. I just really believe this is what we were going to do. And it was mandated if you are one of our coaches, staff, or you're in our program, you will believe that this is going to happen. No, it's not going to happen the first day you want or the first year you want or the second year, but we've believed this from the jump. This has been the absolute vision. So I'm not surprised. Am I, if you go, well, did you think that at 2:40 in the morning after you lost to Miami and, you know, you're okay. Yeah. Like that's a fair thing to question. We all question things, particularly in the sport of baseball, but, we knew we could get great players here. You know, you bring up Shane Lewis, like what a great story.
Yeah.
Like Shane Lewis, you know, goes to Mississippi State, goes JUCO, comes to us and has probably the greatest 2-month heater in, well, certainly in our program's history, but it was an all-time heater that he was on. And it's like, we feel like our culture is going to allow guys to be their very best. And that doesn't mean that you end up in Omaha because it's so hard, as you guys alluded to. It's the hardest. But I will say we're going to have enough talent every year. Look, I'm a huge hoops guy. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. So like we live and die with hoops. And I say this all the time. What I appreciate about the basketball coaches, right, in the world and their teams, okay, the Tom Izzo's, Patino, Self, Jay Wright, whatever. No matter what goes on during their season, you always get there in March and you go, hey, man, like they got a chance. And my goal has always been, can we be a program that every year when it hits May, we're in the fight? Now, what happens? I don't know, right? Like fate will take over, some luck slides in. I get it's really hard. But I just want to be in the fight come every May. And how do you do that? You have a great culture, you have great players, you understand what it is that your identity is. And we're not going to lose focus of that. And I think all 5 years we've done that. Guess what? Some things have worked out good. Some have worked out great. Some have worked out bad. Some have worked out to the greatest level in the history of the program. I don't know what's going to happen next. I know this. Our guys aren't going to stop pushing forward and being the killers that they are when we get to compete on Friday. I do know that because our belief is through the roof.
Coach, you mentioned kind of being a delusional belief type person. And speaking as someone else who puts themselves in that category as well, he knows.
Yeah,
that's how we got here. I find it fascinating to kind of dig into people and their decision making when they think that way, right? So as you're deciding to come to Troy, was it a thing where you looked at the program and said, hey, based on what they do here, what they care about here, I think this is a good spot? Or was it more, hey, I believe in what I do and what we do. I think this can work anywhere.
Before I answer, I mean this 100%. I love it. That's like such a great question. That is such a great. So it was a combo, but here's why. Brent Jones, who was the athletic director that hired me, he was the one that, every day for 2 weeks we talked. We had met up one time in Atlanta for 4 hours after I was recruiting late into the night. And he explained his vision. I, in turn, gave my vision. Now, I'd never been a head coach, so my vision is a first-time vision. Let's just call a spade a spade. You can either take it in at face value or you can go, is that a pitch? And my thing was, of course, I've always wanted to be a head coach, all right? But I would never say that, and I know the 4 people I worked for before would probably agree to this. I was not head coach hungry where I was going to just take any job to, quote, be a head coach, right? I wanted it to be the proper spot. Now, look, at the same time, beggars can't be choosers, right? I'm not going to sit here and go, hey, you know what job I would like as I'm the pitching coach at South Carolina? I'm going to wait till LSU opens. I'm going to go ahead and take that. That's just not how the world works, right? But I just felt with the new facility coming to Troy, the vision of our chancellor at the time, Dr. Hawkins, and of course, athletic director Brent, who I, alluded to, with the stadium coming, the location of Troy, the history of Troy, what I felt like myself and my group of people would bring to the table, I was confident we could do things. And I'll give you a funny story. So we went 1 for 42. We were bringing in every kid in the world that first fall, and we got no's and no's and no's. And oh yeah, hey, listen, it wasn't all sunshine and roses, trust me. But I give this, and I don't say that. Look, maybe I am petty, but I don't care.
You're talking to the king of petty to my right here, Coach.
You guys are probably picking this up the first 15 minutes. I'm a receipt keeper, but there was a kid that we were recruiting hard, and he probably should have chose us just based on a multitude of reasons. Now, I'm not saying that you should. Every kid is entitled and family to what they do. And I never fault a kid for making a decision, but I felt like this is a great fit of this kid. And I remember the kid had said something when he chose another school. And it's funny how you can connect dots, but he was told by some people and some coaches he valued. They said, hey, I really like the new guys at Troy. I think that they will get it turned around, but it's going to take them a while. And we said, okay.
Yeah.
And we remembered that. And when this thing flipped like that, we said, we got to keep that, as I had said in a press conference at the end of my first year, we believe we're a rocket ship and we are going to absolutely rocket quick. You just better make sure you hold on. And I've always believed that. And I'm not saying we're perfect, because we're not. There's still a bunch of things we can do better in our program. But I also didn't tell lies.
Let me connect the dots here, just because baseball is such a tight-knit community, and everybody knows somebody. And of course, you got the opportunity to work for Coach Kingston, who is right down the street from us at Creighton now. And I think that first year in 18, South Carolina did make the regionals the previous year. The very next year, you guys are playing in the Supers. It's 2018. I think you left in you started in 2020. You left in 2021. Talk to me a little bit about, because Coach Kingston has some similar thought processes. I listen to his pressers a lot. He's got a ton of history. I know he stole you from Michigan State. What's kind of the correlation there, if any, with Coach Kingston and what you learned previously when you were at South Carolina?
Well, I've known King a long time. I was at Eastern Illinois in 2009, and we were really good. We were nationally ranked at Eastern Illinois, which, if you go back in the Rolodex of schools being ranked, that's a wild time. But we were awesome. And King was the head coach in waiting in 2009, and we played against Illinois State, and we beat them like we were beating everybody that year. And when he became the head coach, I actually reached out and I said, hey, I would have great interest in your pitching job. And he's like, hey, man, I appreciate you calling, and what you guys are doing there is awesome, but I got a guy, and I'm just telling you, there's nothing to converse on. I got a guy. I said, oh, okay, awesome. Like, I had to reach out because, I think highly of you, what you did at Tulane, and I think you guys are going to do good, whatever. So that was our initial deal. And then, you play against each other, you compete against each other when he's in Illinois State. When I was at Michigan State, we went down to play at South Florida when he got that thing rolling. And of course, I'm so fortunate that, he hired me in the fall of 17, obviously going into the 18 season that you alluded to, where we lost in game 3 to that great Arkansas team in the Supers in front of about 14,000 people, but we pushed them to the brink. But what I will tell you is you learn stuff from everybody you work for, whether you even know it at the time. And I've always, listen, I've been a Mark Kingston fan for a long time, not because I worked for him. That's a thing that I tell people, like, I followed how King was with everything long before I was working with him. And, he's charismatic. He's, big, strong, good looking dude. We all laugh. He goes in the weight room and he just does bench and he does pull downs and he walks on the treadmill. And we're like, I had a couple coaches this year that, played against him, and they're like, dude, he's huge. Yeah, like, big dude. I go, yeah, he's kind of an animal. And I was like, his workouts are so boring. Like, that's all he does. He's like, I hope he hears this too. You guys got to send him the clip, because he's gonna get mad because I'm busting his chops, and then he's gonna go, well, that is kind of true. But no, look, him and Coach Current. Coach Current became he and our family. My kid literally goes to sleep last night, so excited to see Coach Current, his daughter he hasn't seen in 5 years when we're out there in Omaha. So, Billy Mole, like, our connections with King and his people have been very long standing. And I never forget when people take a chance on you. And let's be honest, in the hiring world, you're always taking a chance, right? I might be, and I'm speaking to but you can fill in any person. I or anyone might be well respected and have produced, but you don't know until you work with somebody how it's going to go. That is just a fact of life. But what I will say is, I appreciate King, but I've appreciated King for a long time before he, quote unquote, signed my checks. And it's gonna be really cool to see him. he sent me some really nice messages over the last couple days. And yeah, I mean, it sounds a little hokey, but I hope he's really proud of what we're doing, because I'll say this on the air. This is kind of crazy, but as you can tell, I'm an open book. One thing about King that I always wanted to do, just from the moment I met him a long time ago, I wanted to impress him. I don't know why that is, probably because I think highly of him. And I guess one of the things that I hope with us going out there is he can go, yeah, all right, you impressed me a little bit.
Let me ask you something. This is fascinating. This goes back to kind of the degree of difficulty that I think it is to win a championship. Just the sport of baseball, right? You're on offense. You don't have the ball. I talk about this all the time. It's the most difficult of the true skill team sports. And Creighton Sports Information Director Rob Anderson, he's fantastic. Does a lot with hoops, but during the CWS he's like the hub of information. He's tweeting out, 23 of the 24 teams are new the last 3 years. All the data on just how difficult it is to get to Omaha. The scholarship limits have increased for some, going from 11.3 to or 11.7 to what your school can afford. Basically, it's changed. It's hard to get here. What, if any, have you noticed are the differences and how you need to construct and build rosters and kind of this new fluid era of college baseball where if you have it, you can spend it. But philosophically, it seems like it's some new things to navigate. What's that been like as you've learned the process?
I'll steal a phrase from Nolan Kane, the recruiting coordinator, third base coach for Texas, who obviously will be out here. He says in this era, no matter how many good portal guys you can get, you still have to have studs that are from the high school ranks. And the reason you have to have that is you need the guy who is the known commodity at your school that is the superstar, that the next portal kid says, oh, I can go fit there. I can go be a star there. But that's because I'm walking into other dudes. Portal guys don't say, hey, me and 7 other of the greatest buddies are jumping on this train just because. They do it because there's other great players there. Paul Skeens goes to LSU, but Dylan Cruz is already there, right? And look, for us, it's why we've still made sure to recruit great. Look at our core sophomores who, Noah Thigpen, Jimmy, and Cody Markham. Like, those guys are all true sophomores. And, we had the kid who got the last out on Friday in game 1 of the Super, freshman. Same thing in the regional, the first Florida game, freshman, the Rider game, freshman. We have to have the ability for people to go, now listen, they got Brooks Bryan, he's Team USA, da-da-da-da-da. I want to play with that guy. That, to me, you still have to do. And if you just only transfer it, I think it can be very hard to be repeatably good. Now, can it connect for 1 year? Heck yeah, it can. But to be a program, which we strive to do, I think you got to make sure that you have those internal in-house guys. Doesn't mean you have to have 30 of them, but you got to have some.
Such personality. Watch you guys play. Now listening to you and the authenticity, your team has a lot of your personality. At least, like they don't blank. Pre-battle tested. Very dismissive of like what people say about you can just tell your team has your confidence. At what point is that supersede the fact that it is Omaha? And we've seen some teams that have kind of some of these success stories where it doesn't translate once they get to Omaha. Like, what is it that you think is the ultimate trump card and why you can have some success here?
Well, I will say you don't know till you know. If I see us practice tomorrow night at the high school practice or Thursday and we can't catch a ground ball and we look like a mess, then I'll be like, whoa, we might be in trouble. I'll give you guys like the heads up, like, hey, don't turn on the TV, boys. It's going to look ugly. I doubt that's going to happen with our guys, but I think, to me, obviously I'm not saying we have a trump card because the other 7 teams are all amazing, okay? But what I would say is and you hit it, and I really appreciate you saying it. How we believe and how we talk, we are genuine, and it's not a braggadocious. It is not like we're holier than thou. No, we really believe it. Now, we could lose like anyone, but what I'm telling you guys on here in the last 25 minutes, like, I believe that wholeheartedly. Like, I'm not blinking, because I believe it, and our players are that same way. And I said to our guys yesterday, listen, sometimes I'm the one that has the mic in front, and so I'm perpetuating what you guys are. Like, I'm the conduit to that, right? Like, you can't go, like, there's not enough time in the day. You can't go interview our 33 players. Like, okay? So I understand my responsibility is to continue to perpetuate what we are, but that image and that confidence is not fake. And so we will be as prepared as we can be. Does that mean that you go out and you play your best game Friday? No, it does not mean that. But I know that we will be in the best headspace, we'll be in the best physical space, and we're definitely going to walk in there and be exactly who we are. That I can tell you. You know, like, we'll do. Blake Cobble's not going to, he's not going to shut up talking to the umpire and the first base coach at first, because he loves to talk. Josh Pine's going to be competitive as can be. I'm going to try to probably dive for a foul ball, because I like to run around and catch foul balls at third base. Like, Coach Wolgamont's probably going to get angry at something. Like, we're all going to be who we are. And I mean, I'm not life lesson guy, but if you can be exactly who you are every day, don't you think that makes life pretty easy?
Yeah, it's so fascinating, and we see it. We talk about this a lot with like World Championship baseball and styles of play and protocol and demeanor. Baseball players historically are, them in hockey, very, very superstitious. They like protocol, but this game has changed so much with these big personalities, right? I see, Texas do their best Juan Soto, Nomar Garciaparra before they get in the batter's box, and George is constantly chirping. You guys, very demonstrative in terms of how you believe. Have you seen the game take on more of a personality of its own? It used to kind of be this staunch kind of old guy's game. It is far from that in 2026.
I have, and parts of it I don't like, but what I would say, and I can only speak to us, I control one program. I do not listen, and listen, we get hit with like 18 million sportsmanship things in the NCAA tournament. Our guys are all about our guys, all right? We're about the boys, all right? Like, I'm not telling you we haven't had a moment where a guy doesn't yell something back at another team, okay? No one's perfect. But what I will tell you is the moment that our guys are saying something, there's like 4 coaches that are like crazed dogs yelling at them to stop. And I believe respecting the game still matters. I do think that obviously the world of baseball is, I think I call it the social media effect. It's like, what can I do that's going to get kind of crazy on there? I'm not saying I love all of that, but I will say personality does matter, right? So I think there's a blend, but sometimes guys get misunderstood. Like, look, I mean, one of the kids I've known for a long time that I think is very misunderstood, Trey Phelps at Georgia. That kid's awesome, man. He's one of the best kids ever, right? That kid's awesome. And if you got to know him,
not afraid to dialogue either.
No, Trey's the man. He's awesome. Now look, like, people want to go down debate. Well, are you advocating? Okay, look, maybe you got too excited on something. But like, if you know, like, do you know Trey? I know Trey. I know what that kid is, right? I know when I'm coaching third and we played there twice. First thing I said, I'm like, well, Trey, you didn't bring me my chain? Like, where's my ass? Like, Trey's awesome. But like, I think that sometimes people can get misunderstood, but sometimes people do it for the wrong reasons. And yeah, I wish that didn't happen, but you know what? It's still entertainment. This is still sports, and it's supposed to be entertaining. And college baseball is doing a good job of it, man. It's why you guys have me on.
One of the things that I've seen, and I love it, and the ballpark plays differently, obvious, than a lot of the smaller ballparks, but athleticism has changed dramatically in the last 5-6 years. Just, going first to third and home to second, and the corner outfielders can now run, and these big, strong guys. I looked at Oregon up close playing Nebraska or Ole Miss, like just big baseball teams. Has your recruiting profile changed over time to match how the game's athleticism has grown too?
Yeah, you got to be a beast. You got to throw hard. You got to hit the ball hard. And you got to look the part when you get off the bus. No, I mean, I don't think that's changing. That's what the best do. We strive to be the best. So, that's why we lift all the time. We're about to lift here in a minute. I may have to hop off with you guys because we're about to go get yoked.
It's a good-looking baseball team.
Yeah. No, listen, you're not going to go, look at these dweebs. These dudes are absolute psychos. It doesn't mean that they're not going to swing and miss at a breaking ball on Friday, but they're going to look the part in that uniform, I mean, but I think that's a piece of the puzzle, and guess what? You can't be confident if you don't do it. We work out and cut off t-shirts. Why do we do that? Because I want our guys the ones that look good, I want them to feel confident. And the ones that don't look the part, I want them to see what they need to work on. And that we've done that since day one. And that's part of the culture that we have, and our guys are bought into that. And, that's not going to change. But listen, all those teams in Omaha, they got strong dudes. Now, I will tell you, those Oregon uniforms make those dudes look really good. That I don't disagree with. My wife said, and I will have to go to this workout, boys, so I do have to.
Oh, you got it.
My wife says, "You like those uniforms?" I was like, "They're bright and everybody looks yoked." I do. Okay? So
it won't take long. You're going to be a favorite. Our listeners, our streamers, everybody's in on Troy, man. The authenticity is fantastic, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, we appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Anything you ever need, please do not hesitate. And you enjoy, and it'll be a lot of fun out there. And go Trojans.
Best wishes, Coach.
Coach, good luck.
Thanks, guys.
That was awesome.
That is Troy head baseball coach SKYLAR MEADE. I'll be honest, when we have these, we have no idea what we're getting with these guys.
No.
Phenomenal.
You could tell they play exactly how he talks.
I talk to that guy every week. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Let's get him back next week. If
my man said dweebs and yoked.
Let's hope Troy stays around so we can talk to Coach MEADE again. That was fantastic. Coming up next, we're gonna talk to Chris Level. He is the publisher of Red Raider Report, and we'll talk to him about the Brendan Sorsby situation coming up next year on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Coming off a Women's College World Series appearance. I mean, it's been a crazy whirlwind of the last couple of days, but describe what that experience was like down in Oklahoma City, and just knowing you guys were one of the last teams playing in the country.
I mean, first of all, it was just a dream come true. I mean, I remember sitting there when I was in high school and watching. I actually got to watch Doherty play there too. And I remember seeing that atmosphere, and even just being on the other side of it and playing on that dirt, it was amazing. It was literally not enough words. There's literally not enough words to describe that atmosphere. It was so fun. It was so loud. And it was an amazing time.
Yeah, we have to talk about the walk-off home run as well. I know that was an emotional and meaningful moment for you. How would you summarize the whole experience of Hannah getting you guys back into the game, and then that moment for you? How would you summarize all of that?
I mean, I think after Hannah getting to, hitting her home run, I was like, oh, we're winning this game. I was like, we are winning this game. And I think to summarize it, it was just fight and gritty and just love. Because we just love this game so much, and we love each other so much. And I feel like that just was a huge show of Nebraska softball of how much we just love each other and love this game.
David retiring after his incredible career?
I mean, he is amazing. I got to experience a year with Levante, and just when Bo recruited all those Fort Scott kids, I think that was big. And Levante, from the day he came into practice, we knew he was special. For him to have the career he had with the Bucks, to be there, the longevity, the consistency. I mean, I can. It's incredible. He's a Hall of Famer for Nebraska. He's a Hall of Famer in the NFL.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Chris Level, publisher of the Red Raider Report, as we are getting into all things Texas Tech and Brendan Sorsby. Appreciate you joining us, Chris. How are we doing this morning?
Man, I'm just I'm glad you guys still choose to play radio with me because I'm looking for opponents. They're dwindling, it seems like, out there in the space.
Chris, so I was just saying off air to one of our producers, I think first and foremost, just appreciative of the willingness to openly dialogue so fresh after the ruling. I'm sure you maybe had some insight that this was on the horizon, but just to be out in front and address it head on, super appreciative, because it would be easy just to kind of to bury your head and maybe wait for the dust to settle. So I just want to say thank you for that, and we'll more than play radio with the authenticity that you've showed. And I guess we'll start right there. There's the Red Raider connection, there's the fandom, there's the working for the institution, and then there is this kind of this emotional struggle too with just simple rights and wrongs. Are you still processing through negotiating that, or do you feel like you kind of have a firm belief of where you are on what side of the fence?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was interesting. I mean, this has obviously been playing out for the last 6 weeks, and there is enough misinformation out there. But I think we all, at the end of the day, know that this is a young man that bet on his games and bet on his team, and that's a no-no. He knowingly broke the rules. I was more than curious about what the arguments were going to be in the hearing, which was a week ago yesterday in Lubbock. It lasted for about 3.5 hours, and because this is Brendan Sorsby's case against the NCAA, and so his attorneys had an opening statement that lasted about 40 plus minutes. The NCAA's opening statement was about 7 minutes, and there was a lot of precedent and a lot of arguing of mental health and arguing about modernizing gambling policy and all the things. And I was a bit surprised that he was granted the injunction. I mean, I just didn't, because I'm like you guys. I had read everywhere from all parts, and everybody was like, "There's no chance. This is it. He's done." And I think Texas Tech was willing to live with whatever the result was, but they had chosen to support this player, and felt like, whether you roll your eyes at this or not, they felt like there was he had an addiction, he had a problem, and they weren't going to, bow out on that. And now they're paying the consequences for that. So it's tricky. It is. Yesterday wasn't necessarily a good day, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise out there. And a lot of people. I have found it interesting that a lot of people found religion yesterday, and some of the things being said by certain parties that, their moral compass needs to be checked too, if that's what you're claiming from some of these parties. But anyway, here we are. I don't know where we go from here. Is it as simple as he's going to play and Texas Tech is the villain in the end, or is there lasting ramifications of this, which is quite possible? And does he play this year? Is there more to come? I just don't know if I'm smart enough to figure that out, where we go from here. But it's really loud out there, as you guys have seen.
Chris, was there a path in your mind? Obviously, and a lot of people have made jokes about it, but obviously with the things that Brendan Sorsby was betting on, like the addiction part of this is not, I don't find hard to believe, right? Like at least allegedly what like some of the particular sports were. Was there a place in your mind where Texas Tech could support the person obviously going through either some mental health issues or some addiction or both, and still not say, hey, we actively want you to be our starting quarterback? Because I don't know if I'm a coach in that situation, I go like, we're sure he's not going to bet on our games. I don't know, how good do you was there a place in between there that you felt like Texas Tech maybe could have or could still walk?
I think what you get into there is that there's an investment made into this player and this team. And, so much of the reaction I think you're seeing, if Texas Tech wasn't supposed to be any good, if Brendan Sorsby wasn't any good, I don't know if you would see the reaction. I think that's a fair question to ask aloud if you were just some middling, Power 4 team but you're supposed to be good, and he was maybe a piece that could make you even better, right? But to answer your question, I see what you're saying. Was there can you have the best of both worlds? I.e., can you support the athlete and as somebody you took a chance on, and keep yourself out of harm's way? But that would have involved him not playing under what kind of you lined out, and then at that point it's like, okay, what do you do with what you'd promised him salary wise? What do you do with the rest of the team that it just comes down to investment at that point. But it's a fair question, and I am wondering, it's too late to put the toothpaste back in the tube at this point, but do you wish you wouldn't have supported him? Are you digging your heels in even more now? I don't know the answer to that. And how is the athlete? How is Brendan going to handle all this? I mean, is he seeing any of this out there? Does he care? This is a 1-year player here, and there could be some lasting ramifications. So I think that's probably things that they're pondering right now.
Chris, let me ask you something. I'm trying to peel back this thing from the very get-go and the initial kind of case that Sorsby's lawyers were making. And there's this human component that I'm thinking of people that really suffer from addictions, whether it's gambling or alcohol or whatever the vice is. At any point when you're listening to the case being made, and maybe this is personal, or you can start with how you personally felt about it if you're comfortable, or maybe what the general consensus was. Can you separate whether he was wanting to play sports or not? If this was an independent addiction claim versus this is why he should get to play. Did you make that separation? And number two, did you ever feel like it was kind of a mockery or not taking those that actually suffer and have had great damage caused from the addiction, that it was making light of any past instances?
I guess in my heart of hearts, I feel like that when you're betting on Turkish rugby or and you're just like
balls and strikes,
there's something that's not that's not right there. I didn't disagree with that part of it, because I think the NCAA was like, he can't just claim addiction. I mean, and that's a fair argument to make as well. What was interesting in the case or the hearing is that Sorsby's camp had information and witness statements or whatever, like he was medically diagnosed by more than one person. The NCAA never disputed this.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't offer up their own, hey, can we have somebody diagnosed? I mean, they just didn't dispute any of this. So there's that part. But I knew that was going to be, at some level, part of their argument, is that you say you're this organization about mental health and wellness and all these things, but you're picking and choosing, and there's a lot here, guys. I mean, there's a lot here, because you said it, like this is different than alcohol and substance abuse, but they're all addictions. But this has just always been like the holy grail of the no, right? And so I didn't ever dispute that he was messed up, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But like the NCAA said, does that mean he should be allowed to play football? And the judge heard the NCAA say, just because he's good at football doesn't mean he should be allowed to gamble. And I don't disagree with that. And it goes back to like the fact that Texas Tech was the one that landed this player, because this activity went on in Bloomington, Indiana, and Cincinnati, Ohio, at two previous institutions. Whether they knew or they didn't know, or why they didn't know, that's beside the point. And so I think that at some point you just get into a situation where it's like, we're going to back you, man. We believe in you. Let's just see what happens. And I don't know if anybody envisioned the storm that was headed your way. And it's interesting because everybody's known that Texas Tech supported this player 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. A letter from the president and Kirby Hocutt, the athletic director, and all the things, but nobody had the reaction because I just don't think anybody thought that he would win the injunction, And
is it fair, foul, personal opinion, where you can separate like the right to play versus the opportunity? They seem to be kind of meshing the message, because you can address the fact that he has a gambling addiction, and on one hand, but also say, hey, listen, he broke the rules, right? Like, I'm old enough to drink, but I could lose my job for drinking at work, right? I couldn't, like, just the slippery slope of convoluting the two instances of whether it's a right to play or it's a privilege to play, and just simply the breaking of the rules.
I mean, we saw this with Steve Sarkisian at USC. Almost the exact same situation. Like, he went to rehab, he claimed addiction, he lost his job for it still, and there was, as far as I know, not a lawsuit.
Yeah, and I think that's like where a lot of people are landing on, is that what are the consequences that Texas Tech will suffer? And yet I think Texas Tech is saying this all happened 3 or 4 years ago at two different institutions, like, but we're the ones that have to suffer. Because if this wasn't Texas Tech's problem, this was going to be Tennessee, Miami, or LSU. That's who was really reaching out and offering, and he went on an LSU visit and all those things. And but it's Texas Tech's mess right now. So, and I don't know. I have like wondered if does Texas Tech, because I mean I've got the court ruling here, and it's pretty. The judge has kind of tightened it up to where this is the way I'm ruling, and Texas Tech can't be punished, an opponent of theirs can't be punished. It's like the restitution law or whatever that he kind of worked into the injunction hearing ruling. But I've just wondered, can Texas Tech come in and say, hey, we're now going to suspend you more? Or does Brendan Sorsby say, hey, I don't want to put you all through this. Like, I'm just going to go to the end. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a fair thing to ponder. But yeah, you usually with actions, there's consequences. And I think Texas Tech is arguing, why do we have to suffer those consequences when this activity was elsewhere, and why didn't they know? And what's their, because I've heard a lot of, how do we know any of these games can be, with integrity? Well, obviously all this went on in Cincinnati and Indiana football games, whether they were rigged or there was no integrity, we'll never even know. But the world kept spinning on its axis, and now we sit here. So there's just a lot here, man. There's a lot here, and it just goes back to, I just don't think that the reaction or this would be as big of a story if Texas Tech wasn't supposed to be any good, but they are supposed to be good, and it's a bit of a pickle. And is there, because we haven't even talked about, I mean, now there's lots of discussion about we're not going to play them in anything anymore by various institutions or various leagues, and
lots of ADs going on the record, which you don't see a ton of.
Nebraska's, in fact, which is fascinating because of the relationship between Coach McGuire
and Coach Rule.
Yeah. But this is any sport. Let me, Chris, along those lines, Is there anything? Could Coach McGuire say? Could Texas Tech say, "Hey, listen, for the love of the game, for however the wording would be, for the greater good, just to take the thought process of will the game be compromised? This is setting bad precedent." You think Texas Tech would be in a position to wash their hands of Sorsby without any legal ramification, or is that a non-factor to just say, hey, you know what? The juice just isn't worth the squeeze here?
Yeah, I again, a fair question to ask, and then I wonder if you go that route, does Brendan Sorsby say, I'm going to sue you? The judge says I can play, says it right here. You're keeping me from making a living.
It doesn't have to be with Texas Tech, though.
Yeah, I mean, and that's true. So again, there's a lot here, man, and I don't know if we know. I don't know if we know where we go from here. And it seems Pollyannish to just suggest that he's going to play in the 10 games he's allowed and whatever comes after that, and away we go. I don't know, I guess. And I learned, I did sports radio for about 17 years, and I learned that it's okay to say I don't know sometimes, because we're in the business of we're supposed to know, we're supposed to have the intel or whatever, and in some of this, like, I just don't know exactly. But I mean,
and this is pretty fresh.
Yeah, it is, and I think I think Joey and the leadership here, yeah, they could step in but I would offer this up too. I think some of the damage has been done. If that's your point of view, I think it'd be hard to. You said that you would back this player, and you can't really not back him anymore, or why? Because the heat got turned up a little bit. I mean, that would seem to be what kind of message you send into your locker room, like when you do that too. Like, we had your back.
The greater good of the game, I think, is the message.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that they knew all along that there was a possibility that, everybody did. I mean, like, none of this reaction was out there at all when there was a possibility that he could have won the injunction. But it was, once he won it, it's like, okay, now we're going to, whether you're on tech side of thing or any of the reaction that we've gotten. But we're also smart enough to know there's a lot of bad that's gone on in sports and in college sports and on campuses. And there's a lot of scandal that has gone on that we could argue greater good of the game. I mean, look at the national champion from a couple of years ago. I mean, was the greater good of the game to boycott them and like, hey man, they're cheating, they're stealing side. I mean, it's where everybody wants to land on it. So I certainly get the criticism. It is fresh. I don't know where we go from here, but it's certainly going to be anything but a dull fall around here. That's for sure.
Chris, can I make the argument that in order to support Brendan Sorsby, the best thing for him is probably not to continue playing football, considering what his issues apparently are?
And yet the judge ruled the exact opposite.
Well, what the judge ruled was that by banning him from playing football, he was being done irreparable financial harm.
His mental health, and I mean, it goes to the detail, like he needs to be around football and coaching and all those things. But then I just get back to, I guess you could say, you're allowed to play football, you just can't do it here. And then I just think you're going to get into a legal potential situation there. So again, I'm not smart enough to figure that part out. But yeah, you can. I'm sure you have everything in the toolbox if you want to go that route. I just don't know, because if you were going to do that, why didn't you already do it?
Well, that's because it's not about, I mean, my argument would be because it's not actually about his mental health or anything like that. It's about winning football games. Yeah. I mean, that would be the argument of that, why they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I mean, and I think they legitimately feel like he's got a problem. So anyway, it's I don't know.
Let me ask you something, because you work with multiple sports. Is there a legit concern From inside the walls, that scheduling will be very, very difficult.
Oh, I think that's a yeah. Like I know that
that's going to cost a lot of money. Like how that could play out foreseeably. Like if you're just weighing like risk reward and the juice being worth the squeeze, the scheduling conflict, if in fact it comes to fruition, fiscally is going to be a problem.
And the irony is, like, I know Nebraska has come out and said, yeah, they're not. I mean, I think you played ironically, you played Nebraska in softball this past season at a tournament, which is notable because they were both very, very good. But I don't think you've played Nebraska in anything in the decade, in anything notable. And you mentioned the scheduling component. Like, it would probably, the irony is, it would least affect football. I mean, you're talking 2 or 3 games, and a couple of those games every
any teeth to what he wants the rest of the college, whatever it is that they're going to meet about in the Big 12. I mean, that could be an issue.
No, so hold on, say it again. Sorry.
Well, if in fact if the powers that be in the Big 12 are getting together.
Yeah, and that
I don't know if that's doable, but
no, it isn't, and we're smart enough to know that. Like, every school in the Big 12 gets the check from ESPN and Fox and all those things, and if you want that revenue, which they all need, including Texas Tech, you play those games. I mean, that's not now, because Brett Yormark is in a bit of this is going to be an interesting situation for him, because he can't really win. I don't know where the happy medium would be if enough people are because I don't know if he's got the power to. Does he have the power to come in and suspend? Does he have the power to come in and punish? And Texas Tech is going to say, so are you kicking us out of the league? I mean, this is a whole big thing that could, but not. I mean, I can see the SEC or the Big Ten or certain institutions saying we're not going to schedule them in anything, but the Big 12, that's a toothless argument in me, just because of the economics and the way that the media rights deals are written up.
That is Chris Level, Red Raider insider and publisher. Chris, we appreciate the time.
Appreciate the willingness to. That's a big deal.
Well, I appreciate you guys. And sorry if I didn't have enough of context for what you were looking for, but we're trying here, and it's one of the biggest stories that really in sports, much less college sports. And anyway, so you guys keep hope alive. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk next time.
Appreciate it, Chris.
All right.
That is Chris Level, is also a radio analyst for Texas Tech football and basketball. It's I don't know, man. Like, there is a lot in there that I think if I'm Joey McGuire, like, I'd have to seriously, like, all the injunction really says is that he has to be allowed to be on the team and be enrolled at Texas Tech. You can't force Texas Tech to play him.
Unless that's what unless that's what Texas Tech wants to do.
Right. But, like, if Joey McGuire says, hey, you're not my starting quarterback anymore. Because here's my question, DB.
I'm floored at how we get the sense of entitlement getting the opportunity to play.
Yeah, opportunity versus right are not the same thing.
Wild.
And also, at what point do your own actions causing the irreparable harm, when does that matter? Right? Because you brought up a really good example. Let's say you're an alcoholic, right? You don't get to fly planes just because you have an addiction.
I know.
Right?
Me, I know.
People have gotten literally fired for that. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, you don't get to
ask Denzel.
Exactly. Like, you don't get to do whatever you want just because you have an addiction. Even like, you're causing the irreparable harm. No one else is. That's where this becomes a problem. The other thing, like, and we can talk about this on the other side here. You've been in locker rooms in highly competitive, highly successful situations. If you knew someone who had a dramatic impact on the outcome of your games had previously bet on his own team, and by the way, ESPN reports that he was continuing to bet after he got to Texas Tech. This isn't a 3 or 4 years ago story.
I didn't want to make that distinction because I already felt like he was kind of on the hot seat.
I agree.
And I was just appreciative.
I didn't want to grill him
saying yes, but it wasn't the other team's problem.
No, this is an everybody problem because it has happened literally since the entire time he's been in college, including at Texas Tech. So this is also a Texas Tech problem. But if you're in that locker room, and we can get into this after the break here, but if you're in that locker room and you know your starting quarterback has bet on his team before, was betting still after he got to Texas Tech, what happens the first time he throws a real bad interception? You have 100% confidence that guy's on the up and up?
I thought it was interesting, and we'll get to it on the other end, where he said, will this be a deal, as if to open the door that
you can do whatever you want?
He may not be around in the fall. Will Sorsby say,
Well, Sorsby isn't going to say that because nobody's drafting him. This is the only way he's getting $5 million is this way.
I don't know, man. There's going to be a lot of heat. Emotionally, there's no place for him to hide. I don't know if we're understanding that part of it. Do you want to face this every single day?
You ask this question a lot. How much money does it take for you to be miserable? Because that's basically the question you're asking us, Sorsby, right now.
What's a peace of mind worth? That's what I'd like to say too.
Yeah.
Right.
Same idea.
Other way.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick break. I do want to get into the locker room of this all when we get back, because that's the thing I can't stop thinking about. A, when does causing your own irreparable harm matter? And why do you get legal protection from your own bad decisions? And B,
like, when are the rules just the rules?
Hopefully,
right? You don't have to give, you can't say that I can't work anywhere, but that company doesn't have to hire me.
No, exactly. Exactly. We'll get to that and more coming up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Anything is possible. You see a program that was nearly disbanded to being one of the best programs in the nation. There's a lot of good schools. There's a lot of support. There's a lot of great players. We didn't do it because all of a sudden, miraculously, we have the most talented 40 players. We have really good players and a lot of talent, but there's something more to that, right? So there's culture and there's work and there's belief, and what this team has done has gone and outworked people for the last decade. And so you're starting to see some of the fruits of that labor show up. But that's essentially how I would see it.
We're excited for our team. Two people I'd like to mention before we start is Scott Wilson, great Texas fan that means a lot to everybody in this program over decades and was a very dear friend to me, and I certainly wish he was here to see it. But we have a picture of him in our locker room that we look at every day, and he's really one of the first two people I thought of after we won that game. And of course, the last one, just for me personally, is Coach Garrido. 17 years ago, that was my first super regional on this field, and I remember how that felt to lose, and then of course won the next one. But I miss him and feel his presence all the time. But certainly excited to win the game, and very proud of these two guys, very proud of our entire team. Looking forward to getting Omaha.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Don't forget to give our friends over at Next Gen a call, 402-614-9700. Hormone therapy is their bread and butter for both men and women, but they've got you covered no matter what you need. I might need a little pick-me-up over the next 2 weeks. It's a long couple weeks here with College World Series coming up.
Oh, man.
You give them a call, 402-614-9700, and tell them that DB and Robbie sent you. You'll get a free vitamin shot with your first order as well. It's Next Gen Male Medical. We really appreciate Chris joining us.
Yeah, that's a tough deal.
That not only does he run one of the recruiting sites for On3 there for Texas Tech, he also works for the university in his radio analyst job for basketball and football as well. So we appreciate him joining us. That's not an easy interview, and certainly one he did not have to take. But I do think there's a lot in there that and maybe this is a moral, philosophical question more than anything, and not that that's ever stopped us before. At some point, accountability has to matter when we're talking about irreparable harm.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't understand a world or a system in which whatever you did to lead you to that point is just disregarded. It doesn't really matter if it's addiction or just bad decision-making or anything else. You actively played a part.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably the only part that was played in your Brendan Sorsby's case of getting you to this situation, right? Like, Tiger Woods has the sex addiction thing, and it's like, yeah, I understand that. He doesn't get to be mad at his ex-wife for divorcing him because of that, right? Like, it could be a real thing. You can believe everything he says, and it can still cause issues with the marriage, and she can say, hey, this is the amount of money I get for you causing the end of our relationship and marriage. And he doesn't get to be, irreparable harm because of his addiction. He is the one that did those things.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Sarkisian, I think he may have sued for the buyout, but he's not getting his job back. He doesn't have a right to work for USC. He had an opportunity to work for USC. Like, if Brendan Sorsby wants to sue the collective for the money, that's a different conversation. But if that collective didn't put in the contract that you have to maintain your eligibility, then that's a stupid contract, and that's on them.
Yeah, as a guy, listen, there's a guy that's somebody that's been guilty of infidelity. I could make lots of excuses.
Sure.
This happened, and this happened, and this happened, and I did this because of this, and it wasn't really I could say any of that, right? But at some point, I have to be accountable for my own decision making. Regardless of what the catalyst was or what my motives were, the outcome is the outcome. And I have to own that. So in the meantime, while you have somebody that I think is got a legit case to be made over what ails him, somebody in the situation has to, and listen, I know what Chris said. I do. Hey, at this point, we're on the hook for blank. Number one, I doubt that anything was given all the way up front.
I would agree.
Okay. Number two, at some point, you just have to cut your losses.
You have to eat it.
Right? Very famously, Nebraska ate some money, a fair amount of money.
Oh, yeah, I know where you're going here.
Right? Because it no longer became...
They didn't want to be in business with a certain player anymore.
Just couldn't be that way.
Yeah. Like,
right?
hey, this is how we're operating. We'll eat it. I would also be stunned if the contract was that poorly written. They didn't have any outs.
Exactly.
For this situation.
That's what
that would be insane.
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
That would be actually insane.
So, and let's be honest, and I hate to be in other people's pockets, but if we're just cutting checks, and this is what Campbell's been doing, and the Board of Regents, they have...
Does it really matter?
Does it matter?
Yeah. For the amount of money they're throwing around, does whatever they have on the hook for Brendan Sorsby actually matter?
Like,
even if they are stuck, which I doubt they are.
Because at some point, At some point, enough people are going to look at you and say, do I really want my kids to be around you? Is this really what I want to be a part of?
What about other players, man?
That's an issue
on the team.
That's an issue.
Like what? I wasn't trying to be
that's an issue.
Facetious. Like if Brendan Sorsby throws a bad interception, no one on that team is thinking like, oh, he's at it again.
Listen, I've seen these things in a lot.
Like less has gotten to people in locker rooms, right?
Yeah,
a lot less.
Yeah,
than a guy who for a fact actively bet on his own games.
Yeah,
was actively betting after he got to your institution.
Yeah,
like a lot less has questioned people's motivations in how hard they were playing, right?
Did I've been in lock? I can't like. Yeah, it's an issue. It's definitely an issue. When people start looking,
sideways at people, like that's a wrap.
Dude, a year and a half before I got to Carolina, that team was playing in an NFC championship.
Mm-hmm.
Once the locker room got the way that it did over a couple of guys within that locker room, they couldn't overcome it. And that's paid professionals.
And I'm guessing less dramatic situations than what we're talking about.
The locker room wasn't necessarily split over LP, but it had its factions.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There was a lot, like, there were so many. And I say, I don't feel confident enough to know how we would feel about drug addiction or alcohol addiction versus domestic violence versus a gun charge versus being outwardly racist or any of the things that I've seen infiltrate a locker room. But I would have to think somewhere near the top
is gambling on your own team
would be the integrity of the game.
That's almost the only thing that matters.
Like
at the end of the day,
you know what I'm
yeah.
So clearly, you know what I'm saying.
It might be the only. It's like once that's broken, it's over. Like it's over.
Because I just wonder if people understand, and I don't think this is hyperbole. I wonder if people understand if precedent is set.
It's off the rails, man.
And Sorsby is free of, in essence, punishment.
Any consequences, yeah.
You have to look at officials differently. You have to look at guys within your locker room differently.
You look at coaches differently.
Coaches will be looked at differently, right?
Because apparently you can gamble, and if it causes irreparable harm, you can't be fired.
And there's always this juxtaposition. There's this kind of this conundrum of being affiliated with and still being above reproach versus if somebody actually is benefiting from what you're affiliated with and it's now deemed detrimental to the game. Like if you're in bed with FanDuel and DraftKings and these multi-million-dollar gambling entities, and it has come home to roost in your very own backyard, there will be the sentiment that this is what you get. But it doesn't mean, and hear me on this.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
It doesn't mean that you should condone the behavior. You still have to operate within those parameters. It would be like me telling you that because I live near, I don't know, X amount of liquor stores, it is their fault that they are in close proximity to me to stay gainfully and to stay in the money-making business. And I can't control myself around said entities.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's buying that argument.
That's why I keep using alcohol as an example.
So I don't know if I love the whole, well, I mean, you partner with FanDuel. This is what you, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
And it doesn't mean it's legal.
And it doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah. It's not even about should or shouldn't. It's about legal, illegal.
So like,
okay, not okay. And here's the other thing, right? Because this is an argument nobody ever makes. If you found out tomorrow, right, let's say, I don't want to put this on anybody specific, but let's say,
let's say if I have an addiction to bread.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't stop eating bread.
Yeah.
And I live next to Rotella's, which I do.
Mm-hmm.
Endorphins are released when I smell
smell and bacon in the morning.
Baked bread.
Yeah.
Right? I just lose my mind. Is anybody going to say, well, I should move? It's my fault that I live so close to Rotella's. Could I get off on that?
No, you could not.
See, I don't think so.
So here's the other thing: is
I don't think so. What if I was a klepto? What if I just incessantly stole, and I live next to a bank?
You get off the hook? If you rob the bank?
My point in this is, like, where are you going to draw the line? If this is what happens,
yeah,
there'll never be culpability.
So that's the problem here. And here's the other thing. And this is why I know people are being disingenuous about this, because they bring up the FanDuel thing and the sponsorships and whatever, but they never bring this up, right? Tell me, you ever seen a beer commercial during a football game?
Yeah.
Like a billion of them, right?
Yeah.
Right? No one would ever be like, hey, starting quarterback, it's okay for you to be drunk during the game because you have beer sponsors.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
If I'm an alcoholic, I don't get to drink and drive free of consequences.
Right. And I'm not even talking about legal things necessarily. Like, if my quarterback, if we find out that he's like blowing a .12 or something during a football game, I can't just be like, well, Bud Light sponsors him. What did you expect?
Yeah.
That's idiotic. Like, we do this all the time. We don't, like, this is a thing. And I use alcohol because it's the most accepted of the vices, right? It's the one with the least legal consequences unless you go out and drive or do something like that. Like, it's generally the most accepted of our social vices. And it's the one that we also understand has a very strong addiction component to it. So I think it's the closest corollary to what we're talking about with Sorsby and the gambling addiction. No one cares that there's alcohol commercials during football games, and no one would accept that a player is drunk during a game because there are alcohol commercials and sponsors. That's idiotic. Number two, you can't go to work drunk and be free from consequences. Yeah. No one would ever make that argument. Ever. No matter what line of work you're in. You can't get away with it if you've got a union. Nobody's like, we've seen it with police. We've seen it with teachers. We've seen it with airline pilots. All very strong unions, right?
Yeah.
You can't go to work drunk, no matter if you have an addiction or not.
I know it sounded silly, but I have a neighbor that lives down the street that says every time he smells the bread he loves to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's just this component. And I'm just saying, like, if he was ever just like morbidly obese.
Yeah.
Is there a case to be made there?
No, there's not. Not at all. Not even a little bit.
I can't tell, to be honest. I'm not being difficult.
I know.
I'm telling you what's happening.
No, I understand under the current thing that was just ruled that now all of a sudden there's a case for just about everything. What I'm saying is, under common sense and decency, there should not be a case. And the only thing at this point that I think can save us from this situation is if they pass that Protect College Sports Act before the football season starts, because there is enough of an antitrust exemption in that bill that the NCAA can enforce its eligibility rules. I read through it again last night.
I know. It's good late reading.
Large sections of it, at least, the ones that have to do with the antitrust exemption, because it's 111 pages long. I didn't go back and reread the whole thing. But there are large sections of antitrust exemption that will allow the NCAA to enforce its own eligibility rules, which, by the way, would also maybe mean Trinidad Chambliss isn't playing next year.
Yeah, I know.
So keep that in mind. But the one that I care about is Sorsby, because Chambliss, whatever, that's a eligibility football argument. This is a integrity of all of sports argument. Because this doesn't stop with college football and Brendan Sorsby, by the way, because now all of a sudden, well, why doesn't Jonte Porter have a job in the NBA anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's because the NBA has antitrust exemptions. They can do whatever they need to in order to keep the integrity of their league. This thing needs to pass before college football season starts.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the only way out of this. I think that's the only way left, unless the College Football Playoff Committee can distance itself enough from the NCAA, since the NCAA doesn't run the College Football Playoff Committee, to just say like, yeah, we're not putting you in. I don't care.
And like, would Texas Tech really be like, hey, here's more money in hopes that you're all of a sudden
that you don't get
better, that you're better?
Yeah. And also, I'm going to be honest with you, even if he has a real addiction, which, again, I think it's plausible that he does based on his history, I find the timing of his rehab stint really suspicious.
Yeah.
Like, that makes it feel
I just don't. I know some people that struggle, and really struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're looking at it as like kind of making a mockery of.
I would agree.
Real issues.
Because if this thing wasn't about to leak, do you think Sorsby ever goes to rehab?
No.
Exactly. That's my point. Even if he has a real problem.
Nope.
Even if he has a real problem, which I'm willing to acknowledge.
It's like cost them their family.
Yeah.
Like
their jobs, their family, everything.
Yeah.
Right? And this dude is doing this. I think the rehab thing was a show, even if he does have a real addiction. I think the rehab thing was a show because he knew it was about to leak. I think the only path forward is we need that bill to get passed like ASAP. I think that's the only way that Brendan Sorsby doesn't play this fall, unless Joey McGuire just decides he actually has some stones and says, sorry, you're not my starting quarterback. You can be on the team. My guy, the rich dude, what's his name? Cody Campbell. He has to pay you. That's fine. You're not getting a snap this season. I don't care if I have to run Wildcat because all of my quarterbacks are hurt. Like, if Joey McGuire is the person we've been led to believe he is from an integrity standpoint, that would be the move. And if he says, if I lose my job, I lose my job.
Is it?
Because they'd have to fire him with cause. He'd get paid out. Or without cause, he'd get paid out.
Well, no question.
So, like, if Joey McGuire is the person from an integrity standpoint that we've been led to believe he is, he should just say, hey, Campbell.
A lot of eyes are on him.
You can pay him. That's fine. Judge, you can say he's cleared to play and I can't kick him off the team and the NCAA can't suspend him or anything like that. That's fine. But he will not take a snap for my football team. That would be the only, he's the last person outside of Congress. And I know we hate putting our hope in Congress for things, but he's the last person outside of lawmakers that can actually keep this thing from being an abject disaster.
How about officials?
Oh, the officials thing scares the hell out of me. Because they have a right to work now too, right?
Yep.
It causes me irreparable harm if I'm not allowed to continue officiating, even though I'm gambling on the games that what's the difference between that and Brendan Sorsby? Is there one? Because I don't see one.
Yeah.
You're not telling me some like GA or position coach that doesn't think he's making enough money isn't all of a sudden going to be like, oh, hey, it caused me irreparable harm if you fire me, even though I was gambling on our own games.
Oh.
You don't think Brendan Sorsby had inside information on what was going on with Indiana?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. You could honestly, I think he's closer to being in trouble for racketeering than he is being able to play football. Like, you could probably write this guy up on charges. He was betting through other people's accounts. That's not legal.
Yeah. So Kenny, I hear you. Like, I get your point about the NBA and Damon Jones pleading and Billups and whatnot, but it's the antitrust thing.
And every time it happens, that dude gets banned immediately.
Yeah, it's
Tim Donaghy banned for life. Jonte Porter banned for life. Damon Jones banned for life.
It's different in pro sports because of the antitrust,
which is why I need that bill passed. It's the that and Joey McGuire's integrity are the only thing possibly holding college football together at this point. And when you're
the scheduling thing with inventory and the television rights deal, there's how many teams in
you'd only be giving up 12 games.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
And is it good for ESPN to have a guy that's actively gambling on your schedule?
Yeah. And what if you just forfeit?
What if you just give the money back? What if you give 1/12 of your whatever your cut is this year, and the Big 12 says,
I wasn't so sure when he gave that answer that it was teethless.
I don't think it is at all. I think they're meeting for a reason.
Oh, I know.
Like, Yormark's not doing this for to posture.
I know.
I think nothing is universally agreed upon in college sports anymore. And the the reaction to this was unanimous. Everybody's just like, nope, this is terrible. We can't do this, right? I think there's a legitimate shot that the Big 12 teams say, hey, we're not playing you. Give 1/12 of the money back to ESPN.
Ooh.
We're fine with it.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, why wouldn't they? You want to play in that game?
No.
If you're a coach, would you want to play in that game?
No.
You think anybody else? I mean, you think anybody in your coaching staff would feel any differently?
No. I think people that don't want to play the game aren't playing it because it's Texas Tech. I think people that don't want to play that game are saying this isn't good. At some point of all these things that aren't good for the game,
this is the worst.
This is the worst.
I actually think it is the worst.
And we have control over it.
It's one thing to have
tampering,
like spending sprees and tampering and recruiting and escalating salaries and coaches being poached mid-season. That's all whatever. When you're talking about gambling on games you're playing in, that's the ball game. It's the worst thing you can do in terms of integrity of your sport.
Yeah, Jake, that receiver was open. Again, at the snap of the ball, Malcolm Hartzog is 8 yards deep playing cover 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cover 2, you get a squatty corner, the safety gets over the top. Hartzog was
that throw was pretty late.
Extra snug at the line of scrimmage. He looked wide open. Like
that throw was pretty late.
It was where it needed to be. I mean, that's a pretty good play by Hartzog.
It was.
Like, he looked open.
But let's say that.
And he looked open for a long time.
Let's say that happens in the Big 12 opener against Houston.
Oh, yeah.
We view that through a different lens all of a sudden.
I know you don't like looking at this in terms of like the emotional suffering because you're very you're tough about that, right?
When it's self-inflicted, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm telling you, I think we're missing, and he's done it to himself, but it doesn't make it any less of a thing, is there will be a ton of emotional baggage that comes with just the day-to-day given these consequences.
Sure.
For him as the individual.
Do you think the locker room is will be a haven for him, or you think it's rough in there too?
I don't know.
Because that's where it would make a difference. If we're talking about can he endure this?
I don't know.
Because that's the question, right? Can he make it through the suffering that he probably is going to?
I've seen people in locker rooms that not everybody was happy that they were in the locker room.
How does that affect that person?
It
depends on the guy.
Depends on the person. It certainly isn't universal safe haven.
It breaks some people, right?
Yes. Yes. And it has divided locker rooms.
Again, over things less serious than betting on your own team.
Signing a free agent. A guy making more money.
Which, by the way, Sorsby already did before all this.
So
you think the $5 million quarterback making more money than everybody else, and you've got the gambling stuff on top of that, that might be tough.
TG, the crazy thing about the World Cup is we got plenty of time. Plenty of time to get to the World Cup.
USA plays on Friday. We got some time, guys.
Plenty of time.
We'll be all right.
By the way, how healthy are they going to be?
Yeah, not as healthy as they need to be. You know what drives me crazy is I think you can make a legitimate argument the last 10 years or so is the most talented Team USA's ever been, and it's also one of their worst stretches.
Yeah. They seem disjointed.
Like, you've never had more players playing in the Premier, not just the Premier League, but like the top leagues in Europe. Before, like, you remember like 2010, it was like one guy in the Premier League. It was Tim Howard. And then like Clint Dempsey was on a loan. Landon Donovan got like a cup of coffee. And then she's like a bunch of MLS dudes.
Yeah.
And then now it's most of the roster, at least the guys that should be starters, are playing in the top leagues in Europe, and they're worse.
Yep.
How does that happen? Seems like it might be a coaching issue, which they've gone through plenty.
Can't seem to get that one right.
You know, old Pochettino's back in here.
Wow.
I've never been so invested in Congress getting involved in sports before, because I think that's the only way out of this. Unless Joey Maguire just has a giant pair of brass ones that I don't think are there.
I just don't think we're understanding the long-term ramifications if nothing is done.
I mean, I do. That's why I'm horrified of this.
I mean, all bets are off.
I mean, all bets are on.
That's a terrible. It's not good.
Let's take a quick break here. We're going to talk to Eddie Garcia about some hockey, NHL playoffs going on, and there's been some phenomenal hockey games here in the Stanley Cup Finals, including Saturday night, which was a wild one for sure.
Got some bangers.
That's DBM Ravi Lulla. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
Coming off a Women's College World Series appearance. I mean, it's been a crazy whirlwind of the last couple of days, but describe what that experience was like down in Oklahoma City and just knowing you guys were one of the last teams playing in the country.
I mean, first of all, like, it was just a dream come true. I mean, I remember sitting there when I was like in high school and watching, I actually got to watch Doherty play there too. And I remember seeing that atmosphere and even just being on the other side of it and playing on that dirt. It was amazing. Like, it was literally not enough words. There's literally not enough words to describe that atmosphere. It was so fun. It was so loud. And it was an amazing time.
Yeah, we have to talk about the walk-off home run as well. I know that was an emotional and meaningful moment for you. How would you summarize the whole experience of Hannah getting you guys back into the game and then that moment for you? How would you summarize all of that?
I mean, I think after Hannah getting to, like, hitting her home run, I was like, oh, we're winning this game. I was like, we are winning this game. And I think it just, to summarize it, it was just fight and gritty and just love. Because we just love this game so much and we love each other so much. And I feel like that just was a huge, like, show of Nebraska softball of how much we just love each other and love this game.
How about Levante David retiring after his incredible career?
I mean, he is amazing. I got to experience a year with Levante, and just when Bo recruited all those Fort Scott kids, I think that was big. And Levante, from the day he came into practice, we knew he was special. For him to have the career he had with the Bucks, to be there, the longevity, the consistency. I mean, I can. It's incredible. He's a Hall of Famer for Nebraska. He's a Hall of Famer in the NFL.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Good stuff there on the Brendan Sorsby thing. I'm going to have to dive too much back into it. I'll be really interested to see how the next couple months play out, because I'm like legitimately, like, you know, everybody, like the Signetti thing was like, oh, sports not going to exist in 18 months the way we know it, or like, I felt like that, like I understood what he was saying. And we've heard lots of coaches say that. That was just the most recent example we used. Yeah. I've heard lots of coaches say things like, I think Dabo said like, sports not going to exist in 2 years, or we better get this figured out in the next 12 months or whatever, right? A bunch of guys have said that. It never felt like an existential thing to me. It was going to exist in some form moving forward. Just it may not be any version that anybody actually liked, but it was going to exist, right? This actually is an existential threat to me. Like, people not having repercussions for gambling on the thing that they work in is an existential threat to me. There's a reason the NBA went so hard to convince people that the Tim Donaghy thing was a rogue ref and not a systemic issue.
Even though when he intimated just about everything to the contrary.
Yes. They blackballed that dude so hard and like ran a propaganda campaign. Whatever you believe is fine on whether it was just him or not, because he's got a lot of reasons to lie and not a lot of reasons to tell the truth. So I take what he says with a grain of salt. But like, there's a reason the NBA did everything it could to make that be like, hey, this is one bad guy. We got rid of him. The problem is fixed. Because if you don't, your game is over, right? We hear it enough with the NFL, and like, you know, most people are kind of tongue in cheek with, oh, the games are scripted or whatever, and it's rigged, and oh, the script is crazy this week. Like, you kind of, you know, you get the fixed thing a little bit, but mostly it's tongue in cheek. Once that becomes a real concern for your league, it's a wrap. You're done. Because guess what? All those, like, nobody wants to gamble on your sport when they think it's fixed. Nobody wants to, like, that's part of the reason that boxing struggled so much after a certain time period. Like, there were a lot of factors, but part of it was people thought it was crooked. People still think it's crooked. And for a long time, they weren't wrong. There was a ton of mob money in boxing for a super long time. And boxing used to be the biggest sport in this country.
Yeah.
And it's not anymore. It's probably, I don't know, 10th.
Yeah.
Like, it's way down the line. And for not in small part because you couldn't trust the results.
Did you read Kirby Hokut's response?
I did, yeah.
He says, I should just send it to the guys, but
you can read it.
I can read it.
Yeah.
As we've said before, we do not believe that the circumstances of Brendan's case warranted permanent ineligibility. As he returns to our football program, we remain committed to supporting Brendan's recovery and ensuring his compliance with the court's order. A comprehensive support structure, including clinical care, monitoring, and compliance checks, will remain fully in place for the duration of Brendan's time as a student at Texas Tech. And the people following it up, this is from Brett Baker. He says, imagine being so stubborn that you'd risk your employer's name and reputation for an individual recognized by law as an adult who knowingly, willingly, and repeatedly broke clearly defined rules. So much for no one person is more important than the team. Do you know how prevailing that sentiment is going to be?
I would guess nearly universal.
Yeah. Pete Thamel, just 17 minutes ago, sources, don't expect any immediate action from the Big 12 on the Brendan Sorsby ruling. The Big 12 has defined a process to address it, which begins with an AD call today. The Big 12 Executive Board will meet Thursday to discuss its options. That Executive Board call will likely be followed by a full Big 12 Board call sometime early next week. Could the conference suspend Sorsby?
I don't think so.
Because
I think that they can.
I don't think they can. So the wording of the injunction is that basically
it's the opportunity to, right? So the opportunity to be gainfully employed.
So the way I read it is that the NCAA, and I think by extension the Big 12, but I don't know how separate the Big 12 is from the NCAA. So that's where it gets a little fuzzy here. The NCAA can't do anything to impede his ability to play. Like their hands have been tied. I think technically afterwards they could vacate the wins if they win the appeal after the season, but that's a different thing. If the court considers the Big 12 tied directly to the NCAA and not its own entity, then they can't suspend him. If they decide it's not, that's why I brought up the college football playoff thing.
Right.
Because the college football playoff thing is its own entity.
I get it.
If the Big 12 is considered the same thing legally speaking, and there's no official tie legally to the NCAA, then yes, they could suspend it. But I don't know if they are or not.
Jimmy Neutron, what were your thoughts?
I think that you can, because if you think of how this, and I understand where you come from, Ravi, where it's like the head of the snake is the NCAA and then the trickle down from there. So you have basically the sub, if you want to say it's a sub corporation, whatever, and kind of work your way up from there. But if you are saying that he's ineligible within Big 12 play, that he's eligible as an NCAA player or whatever, but he's not eligible to play in Big 12 conference games, there may be a way to subvert that and say, well, you're not eligible within our conference rules or whatever. You broke a conference rule that you're not eligible to be able to participate in games.
Yeah, I would. I'd be interested to see. I'm sure that they'd get sued for it. I'm sure there would be another lawsuit.
Yeah, we'd probably just end up in the same circumstance, right?
But yeah, he maybe would miss another week or two, and then some other judge would grant a different preliminary injunction to restore his eligibility, so that it gets kind of messy there. Like I said, if you can draw a legal line between the Big 12 and the NCAA, I think you're right. You could make an argument that he's ineligible for Big 12 play. I do think the easier thing, because it doesn't impact Brendan Sorsby directly, would be to boycott games against Texas Tech. And I say easier, kind of not to say easy, but I have to imagine, and maybe
here's excuse me. As I saw the ruling, aren't we, to Austin's point, aren't we, the judge didn't say he has to play.
Correct. He has to be allowed to be on the team. He has to be allowed to be enrolled at Texas Tech. He has to be allowed to make whatever money he was owed at Texas Tech. But that's why I brought up Joey McGuire benching him. He doesn't have to play.
He doesn't have to play.
But no entity associated with the NCAA can prevent him playing. That's where the injunction gets a little dicey. And I don't know what they consider connected to the NCAA. The Big 12 might be far enough removed. But honestly, I think as long as he gets paid, you can do whatever you want.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But is there, once the Big 12 says, oh, yeah, you can pay him, he just can't play? I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing or not. I do know that Joey McGuire can and should just bench him.
I have a local question about what you said with canceling games or, whatever, not choosing to not participate in Texas Tech games.
Mm-hmm.
Why was it important that Nebraska came out first to do it? Because it feels like this has now been a little bit of a trend that Nebraska, and specifically Troy Dannon, tries to get ahead of the situations when these things arise. And I wasn't surprised that this happened, but I was a little surprised last night that I was because I looked and I was is anyone else doing this? Our Big 12 teams, obviously they came out and said they don't want to play, and they're we're going to do what we have to do. But Dannon took a completely different stance and made it public and open that, yeah, man, we're not going to do this. Cancel all the games, get rid of it, take care of it.
Yeah. So I think
Georgia was the only other one out of conference that was as outspoken, I think.
And I'm speculating just on kind of being around those guys for a while. I think Dannon is so well connected with other athletic directors around the country on the national level.
Mm-hmm.
I think he felt like he had a good sentiment of a good feel of where this was going. And he's
been on the executive committee, correct?
Yes.
So I think that's part of it.
And he's pretty proactive, right? Nebraska volunteered to go first with the CSC. They knew other cases were going to be heard, but he's very much on the forefront of, for whatever the reason. I'm not claiming to know why, but to your point, Jimmy Neutron, I don't think he's afraid of or worried about the perception of being first.
I think, and I brought this up when the CSC ruling came out. I think this is my belief, at least. I have nothing to go on besides connecting dots here. I think Nebraska is under the belief that the sooner guardrails get placed on this thing, the better it is for Nebraska's competitivenil.
Yeah.
And
across the board,
yes,
right?
CSC, all sports, all factors of NIL and transfer portal and all that kind of stuff. I think Nebraska feels, hey, we like our coaches across sports. We like our investment at a reasonable level to be competitive. We like a bunch of the things like our facilities and everything. We like the way we go about our business. If people are allowed to go and do things totally unchecked, that's probably not a world where we can be as competitive as we want to be. But if we can be in a place where there is some sort of structure and guardrails on this, we can be competitive with anybody across multiple sports. That's what so I think every opportunity Troy Dannon sees to continue to get his arms around this, and especially on a subject that, again, there's near universal consensus on what the ruling should be. Nobody wants Brendan Sorsby to play except Texas Tech. Like I have not seen one college sports entity say like, yeah, you know what? We like this outside of Texas Tech. So especially on something where there's near universal approval, I do think that Dannon looks at this and says, hey, here's another opportunity that we have to maybe get our arms around this thing and put the guardrails in place that are good for everybody, but especially for Nebraska. That would be my guess as to why he does this.
I think at the end of the day, I'm hoping that, like, the game is in jeopardy for a multitude of reasons. This one you can actually control.
Yeah.
Like, you have a chance here. This isn't like understanding the rules of pay for play and the loose infrastructure of NIL and the CSC. This is fundamentally what everybody knows to be wrong, just not doing it. Because if you allow it, you're basically saying we're going to look at every outcome of a game with a very critical eye,
a little sideways.
And listen, we've had him on the show. I remember when he came out with his Lakers book, Showtime or whatever. We've had like guys like Jeff Pearlman on, and he can be a little curmudgeon-y, and
he's very anti-gambling. He's one of the, hey, if you invite FanDuel into your house, don't be surprised.
Right. And he just recently said, listen, somebody's going to lose their life.
He said that for a while.
That it's just inevitable.
Yeah, somebody's going to get killed over a gambling dispute.
Yeah, because of, and I think it was a race. It was a track competition in which she was heckled because
Thomas?
No. Yeah, was it
Gabby Thomas?
Yeah, it was
Gabby Thomas.
Yeah, because she needed to lose in order for the guy to hit the third leg of his parlay or something like that. And Gabby was like, this guy literally followed me around the track with signs and whatnot, and then posted the winnings like from his parlay. And you're going to be turning. Listen, it could be extreme, but you're green lighting that deal.
Yeah. I mean, you're
just green lighting that deal.
It's really bad in sports where you can make a lot of bets in the game. So like baseball, I know I've mentioned there's 1,000 betting opportunities in every tennis match, 1,000, right? And so there's been, especially on the WTA, the women's tour, there's been a ton of harassment. There's been a ton of threats made. Like there's parts of, Jeff Pearlman can get a little holier than thou.
Yeah.
But there's parts he's not wrong about.
I know.
So I'm trying to be like DB here, like eat the meat, spit out the bones. Like there's stuff there that he's saying that I do believe is true. And if you're in and let's not forget,
and to his credit, he's like that with just about everything.
Yeah, no, very consistent. That's why I can deal with it, right? Like, the things that I dislike, it's inconsistency and logical, like inconsistencies and things like that. Like if you're consistent, I can at least probably figure something out from you. But like, we haven't even talked about guys we've mostly been talking about guys doing this on their own. I brought it up briefly with boxing, but you don't think there's going to be some well-funded agents of other entities that now are trying to get to people?
What about the bylaws within the conference about operating for the greater good of the league? Like, those articles are real.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it's why LSU was reprimanded, or Lane Kiffin was reprimanded for speaking out against Ole Miss recruiting.
About Oxford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black players to Oxford. Like, that was clearly frowned upon. You can't say stuff like that. It goes against.
Maybe they should take down some of the Confederate flags, but okay, whatever. I mean, but no, to your point.
I mean, that's just a great big old 50 core softball.
But to your point, yes, for things as minor as talking poorly about another university's campus.
Right? How is that good for the league?
It's not. It's not good for anybody.
I'm just spitballing out loud here.
I do wonder, like, at what point does the NCAA or the Big 12 or these other institutions have the legal right to protect themselves? The Big 12 would be the biggest one there, right? Like, at the conduct detrimental to the league or whatever the wording is, the phrasing is there. Like, at what point are they legally allowed to say, hey, this is bad for us, this is actively harming us, why do we have to put up with this? Right? Like, I would imagine, I don't know if TK still let you, I would imagine there's a legal argument there as well about not doing irreparable harm to the Big 12, right?
We know what TK is doing right now.
He's putting innocent people away?
Yes. Yes.
Well, then he's the perfect person to put Sorsby in jail.
Why don't you go to Lubbock and put that innocent person away?
TK is busy prosecuting innocent people.
Hey, why don't you go prosecute some guilty people in Lubbock?
To the maximum fullest extent of the law.
Throw the book at him.
He loves when I say that.
You know what I mean, though? Like, doesn't the Big 12 have an irreparable harm case as well?
Yeah. It's not good for the league.
Like, if you have somebody...
It's not good for the conference.
It's not good for the sport. It's not good for any sport. Like, at some point, the Big 12 has to say, hey, having somebody that actively compromises the integrity of what we're doing is worse for us. And again, there's way more money involved at the conference level than there is for Brendan Sorsby NIL.
I can't believe they won the argument that what the NCAA was proposing was bad for business for his client.
I mean, it's
like it was the NCAA's fault.
That's the part that I am actively angry about.
That is what. Well, we've talked about this when it first happened. We're like, you're making a mockery of. NCAA has enough problems.
Yeah.
Let's not make this up.
No, and listen, I understand some of the other cases that the NCAA has lost, right?
Yeah.
I understand why Diego Pavia gets the extra year, because I don't really like the NJCAA and the NCAA are different things. I don't know why JUCO years count against you. I get that. I don't necessarily agree, but I understand why it happened, right?
Yeah.
I understand the Trinidad Chambliss thing to a certain degree. You make the argument that it's a medical thing. He should have gotten the red shirt. I understand that. Those are football rule things, right? That makes sense at a certain level. Diego Pavia,
you know the interesting thing about this, and I brought this up when it first happened with the 5 for 5. You know, the same case could be made if a coach redshirts a player.
Absolutely. If you just don't play, outside of your own choice, absolutely. And I understand it. I don't
that wasn't far-fetched. I said, what's to say you couldn't do that?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, not that that's good for the game, but it makes sense in the thing that we're talking about. The Sorsby thing is so far removed from all of the other cases, because all the other cases are like, hey, we should have a right to make money off our own name, image, and likeness.
Because once you implement 5 for 5, and clearly, listen, and like you already have to have your appeals forms in, right? Of potential. So it's definitely more than on the horizon, but it's just fundamentally a reason why I think it can't happen. Listen, I could see age limits.
Sure.
I don't know about a certain time for a certain, like the 5, like I could say, hey, anything until you're 25 goes, but Because once you introduce those finite parameters, like X amount of time for X amount of time, then people are going to get into what you're allowing me to do while I'm there under said time.
Again,
i.e. red shirt.
Well, I think red shirts are dead, basically. I mean,
well,
but the thing that allows for it,
so
again,
a coach isn't playing me.
He goes, am I wrong for thinking Sorsby isn't good enough to be going through all this trouble?
No, I get it. That's not the point, though.
No, yeah.
but I do.
I get the sentiment.
Yeah,
like if you're Texas Tech,
a lot of people have said that.
If
right?
you're Texas Tech, you're like, this isn't like I don't know who's the guy you really like. Dante, not you, like Dante Moore, right? People are like, oh, Dante Moore's great. Like this isn't Dante Moore.
No, I know.
Like this isn't even like I don't know. People are in love with Arch Manning. That's fine. Like this isn't Arch Manning.
Huh.
Like this is a guy that was pretty good at Cincinnati, right? There's a reason he didn't go to the draft. He wasn't going to get drafted high.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like he didn't just decide, oh, I don't want to be an NFL first round draft pick. That's what Dante Moore said.
Yeah, I think the thing about it, unless he's saying, which I think he might be, is like, is he worth the precedent that you're about to set?
A, I agree. B, if you're Texas Tech, is he worth what you're going to be? Like, you're a pariah. Texas Tech is and
I guess that's what I didn't get with Chris saying that, like, they're on the hook financially. I'm like, that'd be the least of my concerns.
Even if you are, who cares?
That'd be the least of my concerns.
Because long-term financially, this could possibly hurt you way worse than $5 million. Like, there's way more money on the table if you play this wrong than $5 million.
Yeah. I mean,
I get what he's saying.
Me too.
I do. Like, I've thought that, right? But that's not the thing that I am most concerned about. That's kind of further down the list of like, really, we're doing this for Sorsby? Like, that's the guy, that's the hill we're going to die on?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, that's the bullet we're going to take is Brendan Sorsby?
That's why I felt like the legal, like the claim in the suit was so important.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the long-term ramifications. If they said, oh, okay, this is acceptable. I mean, go back and read, go back and like you just heard Chris say that their opening statement was 40 minutes.
Yeah.
The NCAA's was 7.
Because the NCAA's case is pretty simple and correct. You don't get to gamble on your own sport and keep playing. And the judge is like, nope, I'm going to be stupid today.
But to make it seem like it's the NCAA's fault for not protecting the goodness and well intent of their student athletes.
That's the craziest argument because
he got the opportunity to stay connected to his teams when he wasn't playing through gambling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Frankly, it's idiotic. And I know this isn't, you know how important accountability is to me.
Jibs, I think that's very understated.
I agree. I said, what's the message you're sending your recruits?
That's what I said.
Parents?
Like, parents have to look at that and be like, hey, is this
what we're doing? This is what we're about?
Yeah, like if I'm a dad that loves sport, like I don't know. I want my kid to get paid, but man, I sure want the integrity of the game on the up and up, though. I don't want you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just don't want to surround yourself in those compromised situations.
100%. This is the most short-sighted thing you can do on all accounts, from the judge to the university.
But I understand the judge's ruling, though, legally.
I still don't, because at some point, like, when does legally your own actions override your ability to try and make money? That's the thing I can't get over from a legal standpoint.
I understand it.
This isn't
like, when do you draw the line?
At what point is it like, hey, you put yourself in this position? Like, at what point do you say, like, again, you brought up the DUI. Like, I can't go to a judge and say, hey, I'm an alcoholic. I don't get a DUI now. Like, legally, your own choices matter in this.
So they had to present the argument on how the contract was written.
Sure.
The agreement with Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, is a better analogy for if I was under contract and the parameters were fairly gray,
mm-hmm.
then I get the DUI, or with my employer, is that different than the legal ramifications of me being able to get arrested?
Yeah, I mean, legally, it's probably
because I
different.
do know it is hard. It is very difficult to remove teachers, even teachers that have drank on the job, because alcohol is because of how it's classified,
and because it's a union.
And they're part of. If you're part of the union,
yeah. So if you're part of the union, yes, it gets harder, but it has happened that people have gotten fired for this.
Yeah, and it has also happened where they have not.
True, but Sorsby famously not part of a union, right? So that's a big factor here. He has very little protection from collective bargaining because we have been avoiding that in college sports. The other part of this is, that's why I brought up the Sarkisian part of the argument. Because I think legally you could make the argument that Texas Tech has to pay if they have a poorly written contract. I don't understand how you can make the legal argument
that he has to play.
Have to let him play.
No, I understand.
The money I get.
I agree.
The playing I don't.
I agree. That's why I asked about, depending on what my contract says with my employer,
yes,
which is independent of the police being able to say, you're an idiot, that's dangerous, you're going to jail.
Sarkisian can make an argument that USC had to pay him. I don't think he could make an argument that they had to retain him as football coach. That's the closest thing I think we have, is the Sarkisian at USC thing. He had a documented alcohol problem. He went to rehab. That is he was under contract. That, I think, is the closest corollary we have. You can make the argument they had to pay him. I don't think there is any argument under the sun you can make that they had to let him stay and coach. And I'm not even 100% sure he drank on the job. That's up for debate.
Yeah.
That's the part that I can't get around, because legally that still doesn't make sense to me. Sure, make Texas Tech pay him. That's fine. I don't know how you burn the whole thing to the ground and say, yeah, he has to play. So again, I come back to, please, dear God, pass that bill before football season.
Under the gun.
All right. That is the show for today. We appreciate the time. Shane, keep this thing running, because I'm going to talk to Jessica BRABEC from the Pinnacle Bank Championship here in just a minute, because it's been 10 years and we got to talk to them. It's a really special year going to be at the Pinnacle Bank this year. But that is Hurrdat Sports Live. Stick around for just a little extra bonus segment with Jessica BRABEC from Pinnacle Bank Championship.
Coming off a Women's College World Series appearance. I mean, it's been a crazy whirlwind of the last couple of days, but describe what that experience was like down in Oklahoma City, and just knowing you guys were one of the last teams playing in the country.
I mean, first of all, like, it was just a dream come true. I mean, I remember sitting there when I was like in high school and watching, I actually got to watch Doherty play there too. And I remember seeing that atmosphere, and even just being on the other side of it and playing on that dirt, it was amazing. Like, it was literally not enough words. There's literally not enough words to describe that atmosphere. It was so fun. It was so loud. And it was an amazing time.
Yeah, we have to talk about the walk-off home run as well. I know that was an emotional and meaningful moment for you. How would you summarize the whole experience of Hannah getting you guys back into the game, and then that moment for you? How would you summarize all of that?
I mean, I think after Hannah hitting her home run, I was like, oh, we're winning this game. I was like, we are winning this game. And I think to summarize it was just fight and gritty and just love. Because we just love this game so much, and we love each other so much. And I feel like that just was a huge show of Nebraska softball, of how much we just love each other and love this game.
How about David retiring after his incredible career?
I mean, he is amazing. I got to experience a year with Levante, and just when Bo recruited all those Fort Scott kids, I think that was big. And Levante, from the day he came into practice, we knew he was special. For him to have the career he had with the Bucks, to be there, the longevity, the consistency. I mean, I can. It's incredible. He's a Hall of Famer for Nebraska. He's a Hall of Famer in the NFL.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back. A little bonus Hurrdat Sports Live here. I'm Ravi Lulla. I'm joined now by Jessica BRABEC, the tournament director for the Pinnacle Bank Championship. Jessica, how are we doing this morning?
Not too bad. How are you doing, Ravi?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm excited. We're just, I think, right at a couple months away from the start of the tournament or the championship. I'm excited. It's a great time of year. I know the closer we get, though, the more stress that you get. It's less. It's less.
It's on my face, isn't it? It's obvious.
No, I've talked to you about this before. I know that there is just there's a lot of things that you have to get done. Where are you at in the process right now, about 2 months out?
Yes. So we actually, like you said, we're in full-blown planning mode. A lot of people don't realize we do this year-round. So now it's really go time, where, any adjustments you have to make have to be done very quickly. We actually have a couple Corn Ferry Tour reps coming into town Thursday of this week. So that way we can go through and talk about, okay, this is where we want to put, potential some changes to a little bit of the structures, or since Indian Creek has a great new driving range facility, can we put some bleachers up there for the general public, and just checking out things like that.
So it's been 10 years now. This is the big 10-year anniversary. I know there's a few pieces of media that are being put out, and we'll get to those in a second here because I think they're really cool. But I wanted to start with just the tournament, the championship itself, with the 10 years. How much, I know you've been involved for, I think, the entire time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
How much has it changed over the last decade for you guys?
Some things obviously have changed more than others. It's still been consistent with having hospitality on 17 and 18. But I would say the overall fan experience has really grown. And we have a lot of people that come out that aren't golf fans. They just want to enjoy a community event. Not everyone who goes to a Husker football game knows everything about football. And so I think, just seeing that following and really growing to that 50,000 spectators has been a lot of fun to see the community support it and to continue to give dollars back to charity, and our volunteers really growing with us.
What's the feedback you've gotten from the Corn Ferry Tour, just in terms of your event over the years, and how it's received by the golfers and the tour directors and everybody there? Because if I'm not mistaken, it's a fairly popular stop on the tour.
You're right. It's a very popular stop. I would say, top 3 amongst all the Corn Ferry Tour players, which is a really big compliment. Mm-hmm. And then where we are in the schedule with having the playoff behind us, it really makes it a good time for the guys to come in and still have a nice course to be competitive on. And, like we always say, use all their clubs in their bag, but really just have a chance to enjoy the round here in Omaha. We have a lot of people within the community that host players from a player housing perspective. And just overall, I think they like it because the fans do really get into it. It makes it seem like a PGA Tour event. And so it really helps elevate them and get them ready for the PGA Tour.
You mentioned the new driving range over at Indian Creek. We've been under construction the last couple years as the tournament, the championship's been going on, and it's finally done. Everything's finally in place. How excited are you for people to experience? You mentioned the hospitality of it all, right? Obviously,
yes.
You've got the Hurrdat Pavilion on hole 17. You've got a lot of other stuff on the course. But in terms of the clubhouse and what Indian Creek's bringing to the table, how excited are you for people to experience that?
I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome. My husband's out there today for a work outing, and I'm like, you haven't seen it yet. Like, it's just going to blow your mind how great it is and the amenities. It's still a public golf course.
The food.
And yeah. And so I think a lot of people realizing that it's given us the opportunity to have a Clubhouse Plus ticket this year for the first time. So people can check out our website, thepinnaclebankchampionship.com. But that Clubhouse Plus ticket allows you to enjoy their new sand room, which is in the basement of the clubhouse. And it comes with food and drink, and then it's got some air conditioning. So that would be a really nice stop for people when they're out at the tournament.
Yeah, it's a super cool space. We got the chance to go out and see it. That's why I mentioned the food. The food upstairs in the restaurant is phenomenal. The vibe downstairs in the sand room is incredible as well. So I'm excited to be there with a full-fledged clubhouse this year as well. But I wanted to get to the 10-year anniversary stuff, right? Because obviously we've got the mini doc coming out. We've got the podcast coming out. 10 years is a big deal. What story were you kind of hoping to tell and to get across to people in doing the mini doc and the podcast series?
Sure. I mean, aside from the fact that we've all aged a little bit,
A very little bit.
very little bit.
Yeah.
Can't tell. I would say it's a nice reminder to show how successful an event can be when the community and your partners support it, and how we've been able to really make it a statewide event, how we're very proud of what we've been able to give back to the community. And with Pinnacle Bank being a statewide entity, and then having Woodhouse as that presenting sponsor, really being able to just extend our footprint, but also showing that at the end of the day, we still are kind of back to those original pillars of it's a great stop on the Corn Ferry Tour. We want it to be a major community sport, professional sport event within Omaha. That sweet spot being that first week of August. And I think just showing people that we're going to be out there rain or shine, and this is going to be our year. And so we hope that people don't miss it.
What's one thing, if somebody's never been out there before, in all the 10 years, nobody's ever been out there, what's something you would tell people about, like, hey, it's just worth a shot? Like it probably isn't totally what you think. Like I had never been to a golf tournament before until I went to the Pinnacle Bank Championship, and it wasn't at all what I was expecting. It's such a great time. Like, what would you tell people that are maybe on the fence of like, I don't really know, I'm not that big into golf, or maybe they are into golf, but they've never been to a tournament? Like, what would you tell people?
Don't overthink it. Put on tennis shoes and come out and have a chance to just enjoy seeing an outdoor event where you can kind of roam about however you please. We have a lot of different amenities for everyone. We have, the Patron Zone and the Hurrdat Sports Pavilion down on 17, where it's very lively. On the 18th green, we'll have nice hospitality with our Michelob Ultra Pavilion, NMC Pavilion, if you want to, really see how the guys are finishing on 18. And then we'll have a Hobbies Cantina Fan Zone on 9. So we have a lot of different places for people. If they're not really sure where they should go, just go toward the structures. Use that as kind of a starting point, and then just walk around. Find a golfer. You don't have to know who he is, and just follow him a little bit and just watch, what it takes to actually walk through and play golf. And really that mental grind, I think, is fun to watch.
What about people that maybe they want to bring their kids out? I know you guys have a ton of stuff for whether it's Kids Day, whether it's other amenities. Like, what about, hey, you want to bring the family out? What do you have?
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize that kids 15 and under get in for free with a ticketed adult. And there's not a lot of events in town where you can do that. You and I both have kids. So anytime that you're going to spend money at concessions, right? That's a given. So anytime that you can come and enjoy that, again, people think golf that you have to be really quiet, but it's a great experience for those kiddos to come out and enjoy. And we have our RSM putting challenge on Saturday morning of the tournament, which is a great chance for us to give back to local nonprofits that benefit children, where they're competing in a putt-putt area for some prize dollars that will go back to their organizations. But then that also opens up to the public, and we'll have collegiate athletes out there to do autographs as well. So there's a lot of fun things for kids to do, whether they know what golf even is or not.
What can people do in terms to get their tickets? You mentioned the Clubhouse Plus ticket. You mentioned obviously the 15 and under getting in for free. Can they just go straight to your website and get those?
Yes. Straight to the pinnaclebankchampionship.com.
There you go. And those are on sale now, ready to go. If you haven't been there yet, it's such a fun time. Jess will say, hey, go to the structures. I say just go to hole 17. That's where all the fun is. And you would also understand that what you said there, that you don't have to be quiet at a golf event either. If you make
exactly. There's music. It's fun.
Yeah, we've got a full DJ out there, so it's a really good time. Jess, did I forget anything? Anything that we need to let the people know about?
No, I would say we just hope that everyone will join us the week of August 3rd through the 9th at Indian Creek.
And where can people find the mini doc and the podcast?
Yes. So on our socials, and then on our website as well. So we have, Pin Bank Golf is our social handles, and then pinnaclebankchampionship.com. The first episode comes out today. I promise that that's going to be probably the longest one with Gorman and I. But it's a great way to hear the story that's behind how the event began, how it continues to grow. And it's really just fun to kind of take a look back and see how far we've come.
Well, I appreciate anybody that brings some excitement and fun to the community of Omaha. So we appreciate you guys and appreciate the partnership there. And I can't wait to watch the doc and listen to all the podcast episodes.
Awesome. Thanks, Ravi.
All right. Thank you, Jessica. We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
That is Jessica BRABEC, Tournament Director for the Pinnacle Bank Championship. And that's the show for today. DB and I will be back tomorrow with more Hurrdat Sports Live.